The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Wow, what is this? Like 3 weeks in a row now that we've got our sound shit taken care of? I mean, look, we're happy and we're happy that you're enjoying it, but don't get too used to it. You never know when we're going to fuck things up again. But you know what? We got a crack team of professionals here. Wolfie, he's a crack artist, or whatever you want to call him, and Aries, he's a crack artist, and Raven Shadow, he's a crack dealer. But you know what? Things are looking better. Things are looking really good right now. We got the big Rock and Shock coming up in a couple of weeks. My God, we got ourselves a big time lineup ready to go. And welcome. Here we go. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 374 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast. It's recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein and also from the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We discuss at least one movie a week. We argue, we make fun of each other, and we also talk about Jim Jarmusch films. Looking forward to chatting about this one. We're going to be talking about The Dead Don't Die, a film that just came out theatrically a few months ago, a limited release. And it is now available on VOD, and we shall discuss it. We also have a big announcement about Rock and Shock Weekend coming up in 2 weeks-ish. And probably got a host of other things we're going to discuss. But you know what? We haven't done this, I think, in a couple weeks. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to introduce everyone. I am Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio. We also have, over at the Lair of Lost Swag, the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs, Fetus, the upcoming Morbid Tales, and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that Morbid Tales will be available at Rock and Shock. I'm almost certain of it.
Ooh.
So I can't wait. You know, and in a couple of weeks, he said he was going to have it ready. I'm almost certain he's holding out until Rock and Shock Weekend. So let's see what happens. I'm going to get in touch with Brian actually later on and find out what the story is. But as far as I know, he's ready to go.
And just to let everyone know, that was the anthology of featuring a lot of his earlier short films, and you guys filmed a brand new sort of. Wraparound, interstitial, and you were in that.
I am, and and we filmed that about 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
5 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. So yeah, roughly about 5 years ago. So about time we get to see this come to light, and well, let's hope. Let's hope. I can't wait to see the end result. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait either. Looking forward to it. We also have the Triumph Riding, Stage Erecting, Whiskey Drinking, Chief of Security, the Warrior of Nor'easters, America's Sweetheart, Rick Rubin's Stunt Double, He Drinks and Breaks Things, Ares, God of War.
You know, we might have to change that, because I was shopping around this weekend and looking at Indian motorcycles.
Whoa!
Yeah, really?
You're going to get an Indian?
I might get an Indian. I was looking at them. Little Scout Bobber was looking a little nice.
To be quite honest with you, I didn't even know that Indians still made motorcycles.
They've disappeared and come back a couple of times, but now they're here to stay. They're going to be the next strong house in American motorcycles.
No kidding.
I've never even heard
Aries
of
now
them.
with Indian motorcycles right now. So
Yeah.
Going to get a couple bucks off. They're a little pricey.
Yeah, do you get a little kickback? Do we need to get an affiliate link about that or something like that?
No comment.
Oh. So would you get rid of the Triumph, or would you keep
Oh,
both?
yeah, no. Yeah, I'm that rich. I can own 2 motorcycles.
Well, I don't know.
Is that expensive to own too?
Well, it's unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, and my Triumph would be a similar motorcycle to the Scout, so there's no point in owning 2 similar bikes. I
Fair.
was going to own 2. Would want to be a cruiser, want to be a sport type of thing.
All right. We also have the glorified grip, the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking, lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for the Lair of Law swag, the pimper promotions, the Italian rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the sexy speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, and the Parisian Brewhall himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
You're going too fast, John.
What
I was
the
trying to write him down.
What the fuck are you trying to do? Is that even English?
He's writing
What?
down. I think he's writing down what you're saying, Johnny. For the
Why
first time
are you
ever, he's
writing
not
them
using his
down?
hand to do this.
I don't know. He could email you it if you want.
Are you really writing down what he's saying?
It looks like Klingon, but
Well, yeah. Well, I write fast. I'm like,
no, you really don't.
well, not fast, but it's my chicken scratch madness. But
Chicken
no, I'm
Scratch Madness. Is that your new Ted Nugent song? Chicken Scratch Madness. Dun, dun, dun.
I see Chow, Billy Joel, Fries, Pump. That one I don't even know.
What?
Oh, this is the wrong letter.
hell?
yeah. No, well, I was thinking about
Pump of promotion?
yeah, ooh.
The Pump
No, I was thinking about
promotions too.
doing a culling. Maybe we can modify, maybe streamline to be more efficient.
We've been trying to get you to do that for years.
Well, I thought about it, and I think it's. I'm thinking about that.
How about just Raven Shadow? Yeah, just one word. Raven Shadow.
Ooh.
He can even say it sexy like Raven Shadow.
I like what you say.
Wow.
This is like a dulcet tone sandwich between you and Eric.
Dulcet tone sandwich.
I'm very aroused. No, I think I can't wait when you're up here, Johnny. We're gonna go through my titles. You and I.
I'm not
You
doing.
do realize
I'm
you
not
just-
doing anything.
No, when we're together,
We can do
we're gonna
that.
just come light the candles.
We can do it anytime.
I want to do it. All right. What are you doing tomorrow?
I'm busy. Wash my hair.
I need a printout. You send me a list.
Wait, you don't get to pick your titles. That's not how it works. You get given
No.
or you earn titles.
That's right. And like a lot of legends, I've earned them.
Oh
But
no, he's never
I think-
earned a title in his life.
That is true.
Well, nevertheless, it doesn't change the pictures I have. But no, I think got
What pictures?
world champ, tag team champs, NCW.
Oh my god.
That was a thing.
Christ.
That really happened.
And yeah, you guys accuse me of living in the past.
I don't know. We've seen your wardrobe.
What's wrong with my fucking wardrobe?
Oh, it's good. You got some nice jorts on today. I like those.
Yeah. Look what else I'm wearing.
Oh, speaking of Brian Pollan, you're
Yeah.
rocking the fetus. That's nice.
That's
He's
goddamn right.
rocking the fetus. Rock
Hey,
the
who
fetus.
doesn't?
Rock the
Rock
fetus.
the fetus.
What the fuck?
Never make that sound again.
Yeah, what is that? What were you trying to do?
What? What did I do?
That's what we're all trying to figure out. All right, well, I have a big announcement. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
I do.
Actually,
Yeah, sure.
you guys know it already, but the big announcement. So we just got confirmation a couple days ago that this year at Rock and Shock, we will be doing another live podcast. And not only are we doing a live podcast, we're doing it on Sunday at 2 p.m. to 3:30. And you know what's coming up after us? There is a panel with the one and only Bruce Campbell right after us. So,
Who's that?
in essence, we're like the opening act.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We should go on tour, Bruce Campbell.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be great.
we're like we're
Oh
what is it? We're like Jimi Hendrix to Bruce Campbell's Monkees.
no,
Yeah.
no. We're more like
We're the Jimi
Jerk
Hendrix.
the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're the Jimi Hendrix.
No,
and Bruce Campbell's and
we're
the Monkees.
we're more like the Doc Hendrix.
Well,
Now, did we open for Malcolm McDowell last year?
We did.
We did, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to be ahead of Bruce Campbell, so
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome, you know?
Yeah, so that should be fun. So we'll be at Rock and Shock. Anyone who is going to be in the area at the DCU Center on October 11th, 12th, and 13th. We will be there all weekend. We have a booth. We have a table. We're going to be right next to our friends over at Survival the Film Freaks. We heard that we're going to be right next to them. So that's going to happen. And also, for those who are missing him, Dynamo's going to be hanging out with us a little bit here and there as well. So if any folks want to get in on the Deadites action, maybe we shouldn't mention the Deadites when we open up for Bruce Campbell. Probably be bad, right?
He might cease and desist order or something. I don't know.
I don't know. We're still using their music, so.
Yeah, well, there was dodged a couple of bullets with Ted Raimi.
Ted doesn't.
last year.
He don't give a fuck.
Yes.
But so it's exciting. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be Sunday, October 13th, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. We're doing the live podcast. We're not quite sure of the format yet. We've been tossing around some ideas. Probably have a discussion. Want to get some people in the audience involved and pass the mic around. And I think that was a lot of fun last time. Speaking of, right after this episode ends, we're actually going to be recording an intro and an outro for some Patreon exclusive content. And I've been kind of scrubbing through some of the audio. What we're going to do is, this is like a special bonus. We're going to hang on to this and do something else with it. But since we've been neglecting Patreon, since we were getting everything up and running with the new studios, plural studios, we've decided to go ahead and release last year's live podcast from Rock and Chalk. So, and that's about a 2-hour show. So it's going to be almost a regular episode of Trick or Treat Radio. And that was a lot of fun. If you guys remember, we relayed a couple stories. MZ talked about almost dying on the air. And, and that was
that seems to be a big story.
Yeah, that went over well. People laughed. People like that. And then we also had Bill by Force, who was there hanging out with us. He was hosting the whole thing, and he had some great questions. And we also brought up some guests toward the end. So we'll keep that as a surprise if you guys don't remember. So. Do you remember Raven Shadow?
I remember some of it.
Yeah, I remember.
So we're going to have a little less time this year. We're getting 90 minutes instead of 2 hours. But you know what? I think that's fine. I think we'll probably forego the guests unless we have some guests that we want to go ahead and bring up. But otherwise, I think we'll just do a nice discussion, get some people involved. Should be fun. So anyone going to be in the area, or if you have not yet made your plans and are able to drive up there, or if you have some expendable income and you want to just take a flight, it's at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, October 11th, 12th, 13th. This year, it's pretty nuts. I think they announced some even more folks that are going to be there. So let me go ahead and run down the list. But headlined, as I mentioned, by Bruce Campbell. He's by far the big headliner. Also, it looks like Adam Green was just announced. We got the Ladies of Evil Dead, Betsy Baker, Ellen Sandweiss, and Teresa Tilley, Bill Moseley, Ray Wise, Kenny Johnson, Derek Mears, Sherilyn Fenn, Eric Dare, Kane Hodder, Adrian King, Ken Forey. That's nice. I don't think we saw that he was going to be there last time. Felissa Rose, Catherine Cammie, John Dugan, Ed Neal, Bill Johnson, Dan Yeager, Joe Netter, Sarah French, Michael Aloisi, Derek Rook. Look at that, our buddy D. Rook. And unfortunately, Cheryl Lee has canceled. So Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks had to cancel. So,
well,
but that
happens. And so far, she's the only cancellation.
Yeah,
which is really quite an improvement. Because usually you get like 2 or 3 that bow out for whatever reason. But
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty strong lineup. You got a lot of new people coming in.
Yeah.
A whole slew of new people coming in, and that helps. That's big. You know.
Oh yeah, fucking having fucking BC is fucking big.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, it's not like he's never been in Worcester before.
No, I got his autograph over at. Were you there with us?
I was there.
At Tatnick Bookseller.
Yeah,
in,
I was there too.
Yep.
Yeah, in picturesque Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yes. And he took a shot at Worcester. I remember. I remember him saying, I don't remember what the context was, but he said something like, "Hey, what do you want? I'm in Worcester." And everyone was like, "Boo!" Everybody just turned on him.
I think he
I
does.
know. I feel like, yeah, we live here too.
I think he does that in most, because I don't know if you. I think some of you guys might have went. I think we went to go see him in Providence as well.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah, and I think he made fun of Providence too, which I think that's his gimmick.
I don't remember him doing that though.
No, maybe I'm wrong, but I do remember the Worcester thing.
Yeah, that stuck out in my head. That and the woman that was sitting, or rather standing in front of me, waiting in line to meet the guy. She had in her possession an authentic jacket that he wore in an episode of Briscoe County Jr.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
because it had on the inseam, it had a patch on it saying, property of Universal or whoever it was.
Okay.
This jacket or coat or whatever it was designed for Bruce Campbell. And he said, and he looked at it, and she gave it to him. He's holding it like this, looking at the inseam, sees the patch. He's like, "Yeah, this is it. This is an original."
No shit.
Yeah, I don't know how she got it, man. Maybe I think she, if my memory serves, because I was asking her about it. If my memory serves, I think she had a relative that worked on the show.
Okay.
And I don't know how it got into that person's hands, but regardless, somehow, he or she ended up with the coat and gave it to this person that was standing in front of me. So it was pretty cool. We were all like cheering, try it on, put it on. But he wouldn't do it, unfortunately. We were all wishing he did, but he never did. Well.
But yeah.
So Rocket Shock is going to be a blast. It's going to feel a little somber, with the passing of Sid Haig, which really took a blow to everybody. That hurt a lot of people. It hurt me. It hurt Wolfie. I know Wolfie was a fan.
Yep.
My
Facebook.
No, he's great. I know the man, but
my Facebook feed and social media feeds on that day, literally, it was all Sid Haig. That's almost all I saw that day. Which, I mean, that alone, you can see how much he touched people, and I mean, not in a physical way. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't make the joke.
I'm surprised one of you assholes didn't say it. I was being defensive.
And held back.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a chance.
Come on, have a little respect. Oh yeah. What's the matter with you?
But everyone had a great story about him, and he was always super cordial to everyone he met, and I think he treated people more as friends than fans.
Oh yeah.
And he was a Rock and Shock mainstay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, him and Bill Moseley, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like for Moseley to be at Rock and Shock this year. I'm sure it's not going to, he's going to put on the bravest face possible, but it's not the same without having Sid around, and I think it's going to be noticeable, The last time I saw Sid he was walking around. I don't remember how long ago, maybe 7-8 years ago. He was walking around, just shaking hands with everybody, including myself. We were just getting ourselves ready. I think I was working with Mike Mike Baronis at this time.
Yep.
And he was just walking around and just shaking hands with everybody, saying hello, and just really a real cool, down to earth guy who gets it. He's not one of these guys. He's not one of these convention celebrities that goes out, says hi to a few people, collects a paycheck, and then darts it back to the back room whenever they get a free moment. This guy hung out, and he got it. He understood what his role in our lives were, even before he got working with Tarantino and was working with Bobby Zombie,
Bobby Zom,
little Bobby Zombie, and he worked with Jack Hill, for Christ's sake. That alone cements your legacy.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, he even before he started working with Rob Zombie, he had like a massive career, and
yeah, most
people, well, and it's not to like say that people are wrong, because a lot of his stuff was 50s, 60s, 70s and then he sort of Rob Zombie sort of brought him to a new audience, and that's where most people know him from,
Well, yeah, he had to been. Well, actually, he was in a small cameo as the judge in Jackie Brown.
That's right.
Yeah. QT.
But really, what's up?
Yeah, with QT.
Yeah, right. So that was probably 96, 96, right?
97, 96, somewhere around there.
I think 96. It was a Pulp Fiction follow-up. And then with the House of a Thousand Corpses, he had to have been, 60? In that,
he
was 80.
He was 80. So, yeah, somewhere around 61, somewhere around there, 60, yeah.
So, on one hand, that's kind of your career's done, right, at that point.
Well, he also was in Kill Bill 2. He played the bartender. He played,
you're right.
Michael Madsen's character of Bud. He played the bartender in Kill Bill 2.
You're
so
right.
he worked with Tarantino a couple of times. But think of what you want about Rob Zombie, If it wasn't for him, nobody would, Sid Haig wouldn't even have close to the legacy that he has. Now it's just ridiculous. So a lot of praise must be heaped upon Rob Zombie for keeping this guy's career going and establishing a new, not so much a new career, but it
was a resurgence.
Resurgence. Yeah, thank you. That's it. A resurgence in his career. And the roles just kept on coming. If you look at his filmography past House of a Thousand Corpses, you will be blown away. I was watching a movie that he did just the day that he died, as a matter of fact.
On Tubi.
Yes, it was on Tubi. Yes, it was called The Haunted Casino. Terrible movie.
What are the odds?
Terrible movie. It's a casino. You tell me. Yeah. Sid is in it, and Michael Berryman is in it.
Nice.
And it's a terrible movie. They have very little to do in the film, but it's just good to see Sid Haig working. I just love it. And I was watching him in Big Dollhouse, which is a Filipino women in prison film.
Outstanding.
Oh, it's great. It's so good. Pam Grier is in it.
Well, is that new or is that old?
It's old. It's like 1973, 1974, somewhere around there. It's an American film, but it's made in the Philippines, is what I mean.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
No sweat. That's why I'm here. And
it's the only reason.
No, you're here because I brought your ass here.
I found out about Sid's death the day before everyone else knew.
What are you, a fucking time traveler or some fucking?
No. I was informed of his death around maybe around midday the day before on Saturday. I found out, and only because I have a friend. His name is Joe, and he has a friend who was in Sid's wedding party.
Okay.
So that's how he got the news. Spread it over to another friend of mine. Spread it over to me. Told me to keep the lid on it. So, I said, I was just taken aback. And I was in Walmart when I found out about this, which makes it even
Of course
worse.
you were.
Of course I was.
Yeah.
And when I found out about it, I just stopped what I was doing. And don't ask me what I was doing.
I was taking selfies in the shoe section, and I put the phone down. I'm like, you know what, Loafers? I'll see you next week.
Yep.
Honey, we're going. Put your yams down. We'll get squashed on the way home.
Goodbye, 55-inch screen, flat screen TV.
Just not feeling it today.
Yeah, it was. And when I found out about it, I was really, really shocked by it, and it bugged the hell out of me. And when I found out about it, that's when I, went home and I just started throwing on Sid movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going someplace else with that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
But that at that point, 7 or 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever was the last time I saw Sid, I also gave him, because I was purchasing an autograph for a friend of mine. I had my cane with me. You guys know the cane that I would always have with me, right? Well, I had the cane. I had the cane with me, and Sid saw the cane, and he's like, "That is really neat. I like that." And he's like, "Well, you know what? I got another one at home just like it. You want it?" He goes, "Well, I'll pay you for it." Fuck that. Here, I'll give it to you. Okay. So I went home, came back the next day, handed him the cane. He's testing it out. He's like, yeah, this is really nice. I like this. Yeah. So I gave him a cane, and I thought that, I always hold on to that little memory that, what the hell? Cool. The guy's earned everything he's gotten, so.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story, man.
Yeah.
Nice. So, obviously, rest in peace, Sid Haig. I know a lot of people have spoken about him and had their stories, so I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. I know you had a story, MZ, so glad you could convey that. But let's see. So looking forward to Rock and Shock. And there's also our buddy Ted, who used to run the Cove Music Hall. He said, speaking of Rock and Shock, the Excrementals, which is his band, are playing Sunday with Napalm Death, Sick of It All, and Municipal Waste. So that's pretty cool.
Really?
So, and Ted said, see you boys there. So it looks like we'll see Ted at Rock and Shock. So it should be fun.
Wait, Sick of It All is playing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Sunday, he said.
Been eons since I've seen them.
Yeah. I was actually just about to go down the bands that are playing. So, I don't know. We usually I think usually we go out to eat and do our own thing. But on Friday night, there's one band I've never seen live, and they're like probably up there in one of my favorite metal bands. But that would be Voivod is playing on Friday night.
Oh, really? Is Jason Newsted playing with him?
No, that was a while ago. But it's also headlined by Aluvity, Corpora Kalani, Voivod, Skeletal Remains, Gone in April, Conjurer, and there's one other band that I can't read their name because they have one of those death metal logos that I can't read.
Too metal for a name.
Yeah. And then on Saturday, Insane Clown Posse's going to be there.
Yeah, we should fucking go.
No, we really shouldn't.
No, I don't think we should. We're going to be. I am going to be drowning in juggalos on Saturday. I don't need to see any more after what we see on Saturday.
And wait a minute, Johnny, you're cutting out a little bit, but I thought Sunday was always the day of the juggalo.
Not this year, apparently. So it's
which means a few extra hours of people painted up, looking like dipshits.
Hey, whatever people want to do. You used to look like a dipshit wearing your hat and your cane, your glasses.
What's wrong with? Hold on. Hey, here we go. Yeah. Hey, fuck you, Johnny. What the hell?
Let's make this official. Let's ring that bell. Ding, ding. Go ahead.
Yeah. Come on. What do you got to say about my dipshit hat and my cane? The same kind of cane that I gave to Sid? Oh, really? You got to go there?
Another fucking jackass.
Well, actually, you know what? I just heard back from Brian. about
Ooh,
regarding
that's some big news.
I do have news. One, he will, for starters, he will be at Rock and Shock.
Nice.
Is this like official? Should you be announcing this?
Wouldn't be the same without Morbid Visions there.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to matter.
Okay, I don't know. You're making
But
sure.
also, it doesn't look like Morbid Tales was going to be prepared. It's going to be ready for that time.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, there's some issues going on, but it is looking like it's coming out, just not in time for Rock and Shock. So there's
All right.
that.
I'm sure they'll have other stuff there, so that'll be fun.
I hope so.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing Brian and the rest of the Morbid Visions crew.
Stacy and Joe and Chris and Rich and Ashley. It's going to be fun.
Which is the one with the noodles?
It's the one with the what?
That's me.
No, I know that. No, I know you're the one who had the noodles, but is that Blood Pigs?
Yes.
That was Blood Pigs. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna buy that at Rock and Shock.
No, you're not.
I am gonna buy.
No, you're
I'm gonna buy
not.
Blood.
You didn't
No, you're
buy.
not.
You didn't even buy
Fucking
Steve Van
liar.
Sampson's album when he brought it specifically for
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'll buy that too.
And Blood Pigs has been there for how many years? And just
Like
now you're realizing it.
15?
Well,
Yeah.
let's not go that far. I mean,
It's not a problem at all. I got plenty of noodles over there.
you're a riot.
So yes, there'll be plenty of noodles over there at the Morbid Vision booth.
Yes. Maybe what you know what I should do is get a whole bunch of ramen noodles
Yeah.
and just like
Sell 'em.
and just like autograph them and sell them over at his table.
There you go.
You might have better luck if you give them away.
Yeah.
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 Or give them the noodles and $1.
Or maybe take
Maybe-
these.
maybe-
Here's an extra $1.
Bring a hot pot, and then you can make them and serve them to people.
They're going to be over there. They're not going to be where I am.
Yeah.
They're gonna be over there.
Sarah, where's the Morbid Vision booth?
Yeah, it's over there.
Follow the smell of the noodles.
Over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to Rock and Shock. Should be a lot of fun. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to release on Patreon a Patreon exclusive last year's Rock and Shock live podcast that we did. So it should be. I haven't actually. I've never even listened to it. So it should be interesting. I was just checking out the audio quality. Everything sounds fine. I just was processing the audio, getting all set. But that will be up within the next couple days, if not tonight, if I have time. But I got to get this show out first. But we will have some exclusive content up on the Patreon. If you guys have not yet subscribed or helped us out over there, go to patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And for as little as $2 a month, you can get in on the Patreon and help support the show. We have 2 studios now to worry about, so we have 2 times the amount of overhead. Right, Raven Shadow?
Oh yeah, it's things taking a turn lately. So yeah, we gotta put up some more content.
Yeah. So we'll have that up there in the next couple days. And then we have some other stuff from other live shows and stuff that we can put up as well in the future. But we're also going to record some stuff while we're there at Rock and Shock. So look for some of that coming up soon as well. But that should be a lot of fun. So I guess we could start to wind things down a little bit. I'm actually really excited to jump into this flick. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about this week before we get started? Anything pressing? Any movies you saw? Oh, I will mention real quick. I finished the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance series, and it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
Have you guys started it yet?
I haven't started it yet. I've been meaning to.
Like last time we talked, we were probably on the 4th or 5th episode.
Okay. So you've gotten a little. Have you watched any since?
No.
No.
I mean, I think I got the gist of it.
So you've done.
No, you don't have the gist
Yeah.
of it. A lot of stuff happens.
More puppetry, probably.
What does that statement mean? You got the gist of it.
I think I got to figure it out.
I mean, you got to figure it out. So, are you done? You're not going to watch it?
No, it's good. I'm sure. It's your Skeksis.
You got it
You know?
figured out.
What does that mean? Are you going to continue to watch it?
I mean, I don't know. It's on
You
the
mean
list.
you don't know?
I don't know. It's on the list. It's
Yes
don't
or no?
Wait,
Yes or no? Are you going to continue to watch it?
Johnny.
Is it prioritized higher than stuff you haven't started yet? Like, how does your list work?
I don't know. I don't know how it works, but how it works is this.
For
I have a
fuck's
queue that's awesome. And sometimes
You have
I'll
a
just like watch my queue. I'll sit in my chair like, oh, that'd be awesome if I saw that. I'll just scroll around my queue.
Rather than scroll through your queue for 45 minutes, watch a fucking show.
Yeah, is that like what you do? Is you scroll through your queue for hours?
Sometimes then I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like, it's,
fuck.
that's good. Then I'm tired. Then I'm tired after that. But no,
That's why you watch a show. You know what? Because I don't start too much shit at once because I don't want to forget about it.
right.
Wow.
That's why I haven't started this yet.
That's what I say about puppets. Forget about it. You know what I mean? They're fine. They do the little marionettes things, right? That's the thing they do.
You're an idiot.
I thought it was a Capricorn. But no, it's fine. No, it's on my list, and I watch it with Marion, and sometimes, but I ain't going to watch puppets by myself.
I'm not gonna watch puppets by myself.
Probably
What
not.
Why?
What are you going to watch?
What's wrong with watching puppets by yourself?
I'm sorry, puppet community. There's nothing wrong with the Muppets or puppets, so that's fine.
So what are you going to watch then?
Thank you for asking, Aries. I was checking out.
I'm sorry.
He's gonna
I'm
watch his-
so sorry.
He's gonna watch his queue. He's like, "Can I just get like a montage of my queue?"
Yeah. Someone film my queue and play it back to me. But no, I watched a whole bunch of boys. Yeah.
You watched a whole bunch of boys.
Yeah, I mean,
And he checked out the show too.
I mean, I prefer dudes more than boys, but
Who are you, Father Raven Shadow here?
Oh, come on in there, young one.
Yeah,
Come here
do,
with some cupcakes and wine.
Let me squeeze wafers between my ass cheeks.
that's gross.
do you prefer dudes or boys?
I don't know. I think probably dudes because I'm, I don't be weird.
Dude's the movie or Boys the movie?
Or yeah, so many
Boys
options.
show.
Yeah, the boys. But no, I kind of banged through a couple episodes of
Jesus
boys. I
Christ.
banged to the
Why?
boys really quickly.
Why? Why?
Who started this shit? Wolfie, I'm coming after you.
But no, I am enjoying the program. If I can be serious for a moment, and
Okay,
I'm on
Lance Storm.
I think I'm probably on the 5th episode. I think I got to say, from what I'm watching so far, it's one of the few examples of the adaptation being better than the original source material.
Yeah.
For my money, we may have talked about. I think The Boys was definitely Garth Ennis. Being the whole I'm an out preacher, and we know you hate superheroes, Garth. I get it. But some of the shit that I didn't like about The Boys, they didn't really do in the adaptation of the show. I will say this: it's a damn shame what happened to that dolphin.
Dolphin? I'd go with the girlfriend.
You got to stay tuned, brother.
No. I'm there.
Oh, are you there? Okay.
Oh yeah. No, I'm exactly where you are. I
Okay,
just
all right.
finished 5 today.
Okay. All right. I came out of fucking nowhere, right? But also too, real quick, Aries looked at this. I bought a comic book, Johnny. That was new.
Whoa! I might need to take away that former comic
what?
book reading nerd.
Yeah,
Why do I need to take a look at this?
because you looked at it last week. You want to check it out.
I went and what?
You wanted to check it out last week.
I did. Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
It's the I know Corny and Kexy and everyone's talking about the X books. Well, they're all fucking sold out.
Oh,
And I
House of
fucking-
X.
Yeah.
Hey, watch this. I'm gonna piss Raven Shadow off.
Okay.
Last page. He hates when I do this. Flip the last page.
Aries don't read comic books right. He does it all wrong.
Show him the last page, Aries.
I have.
You
I
have-
have.
oh,
I
you
have.
read that?
Yeah.
So you know
okay.
about that?
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's outrageous. But J.J. Abrams and his son are now working on a Spider-Man comic.
J.J. Abrams
Yeah,
and
about
his
that?
son?
Yeah,
No, I didn't hear that.
yeah, it's kind of cool. It's basically, I guess they've been trying
What's
to
his son's name? Patch Abrams?
Pat Abrams, Henry. Sam Abrams. But no, it's oddly enough, here's a crazy title for it. It's called Spider-Man.
Wow.
But
Original.
it's original.
Yeah. It's not the
But it's
it's not
definitely-
the insatiable Spider-Man.
It should be the stage. I'd fucking buy 2 copies of those, one to read and one to ruin.
You need to Mylar bag that shit.
It's true, yeah. That ain't web fluid, kids. But it's very exciting. So J.J. Abrams and his son Henry are collaborating on a book, and the art's by amazing Sarah Pichelli, who did some Miles Morales stuff.
Okay.
It's so the art is beautiful.
Is it Peter or is it Miles?
It's actually, well, it's Peter, and it's definitely kind of an Elseworld tale. And I gotta say, I mean, the art is awesome. The story's good. I mean, it definitely, reading the first issue, I feel it would definitely work better in a trade format. But what's cool about it also, I mean, what it's doing might seem kind of familiar in the age of Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, even other storylines had Peter having May Parker, his daughter, take up the mantle. So it's definitely not set in the Marvel Universe proper, well, the current continuity, but I'm curious to see where this goes. I haven't been in love with the whole branding or the Spider-Man becoming the Green Lantern Corps or Spidey becoming like the Bat family. I don't think you need to have all these different Spider-Men or women, but I'm curious to see the way this is going. So yeah, it's Spider-Man, J.J. Abrams, Henry Abrams, and Sarah Pichelli. Check it out. I'm intrigued because probably House of X will never fucking sold out. So check that out. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, MZ looking at a comic book.
Wow.
And he does it my style, back to front.
Jesus Christ. You guys are the fucking Kennedy assassination.
It's a manga to me, all right?
So, all right, we'll start to wrap things up here, but that's pretty cool. Ravechild's reading comics. I might have to get rid of that former part. What's Ollie been up to this week?
It's been kind of a bummer, Johnny, actually.
I almost ran Ollie over today.
You
Jesus.
should have seen what happened when we pulled in. We're pulling in. We're pulling. We pull in backwards so we could just drive right on out. And Raven Shadow's at the top of the hill with Ollie on a leash. We're backing in, and next thing you know, I don't know what's going on, but Raven Shadow's doing this.
He's kind of jogging and waving at us. We can't really see. We only see from like waist up.
Okay, yeah.
Until we back up just a little bit more and we realize you let go of Ollie.
Yeah, here comes Ollie around the corner of the driveway, leash just dragging on the ground. Raven Shadow about 20 feet behind him, can't keep up.
Come back.
First time I've seen Raven Shadow jog in 20 years.
Yeah, I actually moved.
I ran to the store to buy cigarettes that one time. But normally he'll run up on the hill and he'll watch, but I took a beeline for Ares' giant monster truck. But I'm a little concerned though. So I'm supposed to have Ollie's surgery to remove his kind of fatty sack and other little bump on Wednesday. So I drop him off and I'm going back to work.
Yeah.
Then I get a call from the vet. And so the surgeon tells me that they're concerned about doing the anesthesia because they found a little heart murmur on him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, so it's like, it's on a scale of 1 to 6. So they wanted to have an echocardiogram because if he has the thing, it can adjust their anesthesia protocols. So they get you by the fucking heartstrings too. So I'm in the car, late for work, thinking my dog's going to have surgery, and all of a sudden we're going to have an echocardiogram. Like, how fucking does that cost? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot for those playing the home game. So I'm like, all right, fucking do it, because I'm not going to have him go under and something happen, and it's my fault for not following, the advice. So I'm like, all right, do it. So she's like, all right, well, you can, come back and get him, or you can come back later on. I'm like, wait, we're not doing the surgery today? Like, no. So they have to do the echo on October 29th. And that's too far out to do to even plan for the surgery.
Right.
So something that was going to happen yesterday isn't happening until at least fucking November.
Right, I got
you.
Poor Ollie, man. Yeah, it sucks.
Poor pup.
Yeah, but I think he's fine. I mean, all of it really is like preventative. It's like all peace of mind stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to put him under if the heart murmur could be complicated.
That's the right thing to do, right? Is to wait.
I think so. Just to be safe.
I don't know. We could interpret him running underneath my truck as him trying to put himself down.
Oh, Jesus
well, no, he saw these fucking hard traveling hobos, fucking, and he saw him as a threat. He's a protector and a companion.
I don't blame him.
Right? But yeah, that's all the update for today. But
I've had it. Shit, Raven Shadow.
Well, we should wrap this up. So, once again, if you guys want to help support, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. Head on over there, and for as little as $2 a month, you can help keep the lights on for both of our studios. And we're going to put up some exclusive content in the next couple days, so you can keep an eye out for that. And if you guys also want to help support the show in other ways, you can go to trickortreatradio.com and scroll down. You're going to see the Amazon logo. Click on it. It's going to bring you right to Amazon. Input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Ravenshadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you guys want to, feel free to use our link. I know most of you shop on Amazon anyways, so go ahead and use the link. We'll get a tiny little cut of that. And then also on the website, trickortreatradio.com, we have some digital content, Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits Volumes 1, 2, and 3 available. And for Rock and Shock, we may not have any more than this. I don't know. Like, things have been hectic. But we do have some free giveaway stuff. So we have, I'm going to show the folks here. I don't know if you can see them, but we have some Trick or Treat Radio coasters. So we got a bunch of these, and then we also have some pins. And I think we still have some stickers left over as well. So if you guys want to, let's see if I can, nah, you can't really see it. So if you guys want to swing by the booth, come say hi and get some free shit.
Oh, I new 8x10s too.
Oh, jeez.
New 8x10s?
Wait. New or just more?
Come to the booth areas. You'll find out.
So in other words, more.
More.
Yeah.
No, I'll get some new ones.
It's that shirt, isn't it? It's that shirt.
What are you talking about?
In the 8x10, it's that fucking shirt.
I got lots of shirts in 8x10s.
A lot of button-down gray by 10 shirts.
Gray by 10.
Gray by 10. No, well, I was looking for my picture of me with Sid Haig after I heard about his death. I came across your lousy autograph picture. I still have that.
You're welcome. You want another one?
No, I don't. One is enough. One is more than enough. I plan on getting a dartboard at some point.
No, listen, you guys are in some 8x10. Well, mostly Johnny and I are in the 8x10s, but you guys can be in some.
Johnny is in your 8x10?
Yeah.
Wait, is he behind you? What?
Ooh, hey now.
Ayo.
You know, that's how I always figured it would have been.
What does that mean?
I know what
I think you know what it means.
I don't know.
I'm behind all of you because I make it all work.
Yeah, you work it.
All right, I just incriminated myself now.
Yeah.
We need to move on. So if you guys want to help support us, we just laid out all the ways you can help support the show. We'd appreciate it. Every little bit helps. So go ahead and help. And now, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch The Dead Don't Die. What do you do to prepare to watch the latest Jim Jarmusch film?
I mean, I think we kind of already covered it. I mean, I didn't watch Puppets.
You procrastinate.
Dog went to vet. Different kind of innate. Read a comic book. Watched some boys. Oh, I saw a fucking. I saw a porcupine and some otters over the weekend.
Okay.
Good for you, man.
Welcome to my world. I see that every goddamn day. Move on.
Wow, Johnny fucking Aries got otters over here and fucking.
I work in the fucking woods.
How many otters are in wood? Where do otters live? They live in water.
In
right?
water.
Oh.
Where do I work? Don't say it. But you know where I fucking work.
Don't say it.
It's in the fucking title.
Oh. No shit. Do porcupines too?
Yes.
Porcupines?
Surrounded by woods, yes.
He deals with otters. Okay?
Oh, shit.
He's an auto mechanic.
God damn it. I really want to
Wow.
discuss this film. Get the button ready, Johnny. Fucking let's strap on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Trick or Treat Radio is the greatest podcast ever invented. The spelling is very bad. I'm not sure who wrote this. And the Deedites? The Deedites. Is that a company that procures houses? The Deadites. Oh, it's the Deadites. The Deadites are a fantastic musical act. That is what I was supposed to say. And there you go. There it is. Cheeseburger. Remember to rent The Fly, because that's a good movie for making love to.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we can get you on the show again sometime soon.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
I could be staying outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
We have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. All right, we are going to talk about The Dead Don't Die. This film from director and writer Jim Jarmusch is 1 hour 44 minutes. Rated R, is a comedy fantasy horror. And this cast is going to be a long one.
It's a stacked cast,
It's
too.
totally stacked. We got Bill Murray. We got Adam Driver, Tom Waits, Chloe Savini, Steve Buscemi, Esther Ballant, Danny Glover, Meyer Delmont. We have Kevin McCormick, Sid O'Connell, Caleb Jones, RZA, Larry Fessenden. And I have to click on the next page to keep going here.
Yeah, Rosie Perez, Carol Kane.
Yep.
Tilda Swinton, Sarah Driver, Iggy Pop.
Yep.
Selena Gomez. Yeah, baby.
And Austin Butler, we saw him in one other movie. What was it? He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he was also in another movie that Yoga Hosers he was in.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Austin Butler. He was the kind of the greaser kid in the backseat of the car.
Oh, yes. Right. Yep.
So, yeah, it's a pretty stacked cast for sure.
Yeah. This is like the Cannonball Run of zombie films.
I guess you could say
Where's
that.
Jamie Farr?
So the synopsis for The Dead Don't Die. The peaceful town of Centerville finds itself battling a zombie horde as the dead start rising from their graves. That's certainly one way of putting it. It's a very simplistic synopsis. I think there's a lot more going on here than that would lead on. So, I think this has got to be the first horror movie from Jim Jarmusch. I guess Only Lovers Left Alive could be considered elements of horror, right?
Sure.
So, but this is this the no? He did a couple other things in between then, but he did Only Lovers Left Alive in 2013, and that was the last film of his that we had reviewed. So we're doing The Dead Don't Die. Also, just in case people aren't aware, he's had a pretty extensive career. He's done a lot of stuff, but some of the ones you probably would know is Coffee and Cigarettes, which Raven Shadow always brings up. He did some Talking Heads videos. He did Stranger Than Paradise. He did Night on Earth. He's done some Tom Waits stuff, which makes sense since Tom Waits is in a lot of his movies. He also did Dead Man with Johnny Depp, Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai with Forrest Whitaker, which was fucking awesome. And he's done a bunch of other stuff as well. But those are some of the notable ones that people might recognize him from. But I would say how would you classify him? He's kind of like, maybe like the king of the indie directors that's working right now anyways.
Would you compare him to fucking Tenenbaums? Wes Anderson? Any similarities?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Wes Anderson is Hollywood. I think Jim Jarmusch is outside of Hollywood,
Yeah, he's more high profile.
Jim Jarmusch is the biggest director that no one knows.
Yes, that's probably a good way of putting it, yeah. And he's done some great stuff, so if you guys haven't tracked down his work previously, go ahead and do so.
Fucking Ghost Dog, dude.
Dead Man is
Dead Man and Ghost Dog are definitely highlights, that's for sure.
I'd like to revisit Dead Man.
Yeah, I would too.
I didn't see all of it, and
you haven't seen all of it?
No.
What the fuck?
Well, something else happened that night, Johnny.
You had to go get a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, come on.
And then one thing led to another, and you know how it goes.
That's your excuse for everything. So something happened.
It's a pretty good fucking excuse, though, to be fair, Johnny. Not for nothing. I like Johnny Depp as much as the next guy,
but now, will this movie reach that plateau of films?
Yes.
Like Ghost Dog and Dead Man? We'll find out.
Ooh, could this be a Jim Jarmusch triple threat?
Yeah, maybe. You never know. We'll find out.
So, in this movie had I would say had mixed reviews, at least that I saw. Some people were really raving about it, and some people were like, it's kind of boring. I think based on what I've seen, and you don't need to have a solid foundation of Jim Jarmusch's work to enjoy this, but I think if you've never seen a Jim Jarmusch movie, you may not get it as much. Because there's definitely some, not necessarily breaking of the fourth wall, like directly, but there's some pretty meta stuff in this, and there's also a lot of social commentary to glean from this, I think, as well. So, I think it's definitely an interesting movie. I think people should check it out regardless of what we end up saying about it, because I think it's well made. It's got a great cast. And it definitely brings up some interesting issues. So why don't we jump a little bit into this? So first off, we get, our stars, Bill Murray and Adam Driver. And I got to tell you guys, I could watch like 3 hours of Bill Murray and Adam Driver in a car, and I would be content.
I'll tell you this right now. Doing the show for as long as we have, there are plenty of things I could tell you about discussing films and tell you why I fucking hate movies sometimes. Looking at our past catalog. However, one feeling that I love with movies is, and maybe you guys can share, know what I'm talking about, but sometimes in the first few minutes of a flick, I can tell, like, I'm gonna like this. Like, I'm fucking
you got a feeling.
And Ollie watched it with me, so he's talking right now. And yes, Corny, the fourth mic is for Ollie. Get your shock.
Go get your baby.
Your baby, dog. Get him. The first scene where we see Adam Driver, Bill Murray, and Bob the Hermit, I'm fucking all in.
Bob the Hermit, Tom Waits.
Exactly.
Hermit Bob. Because
my plan was I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just watch like a half an hour. I was gonna watch it for a little bit and then finish it the following day.
Oh, come on.
And, well, fucking guy, I'm not even fucking done talking yet, and he's always fucking naysaying.
Well, that never works out for you.
Hey, sometimes I do it, but at least I finish.
It's so funny. MZ typically like binges 10 episodes of a show in one day, and you try to turn every movie into a fucking series. What the fuck?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
This has been the first time ever since I walked in here and the movie wasn't on.
Well, that's fair. But no, sometimes I just want to just remember what I've forgotten.
Remember what I forgot.
You know? But what I'm trying to say is that I was into it. I knew I'm hoping as it goes, am I still gonna like it? But I was fucking riveted by AD and Bill Murray.
BM.
I didn't say that.
80 and BM.
Yeah,
I got to say, like, I just love the dynamic between the two, and I love both of those guys independently. Like, I got to say, like, Adam Driver's probably becoming one of my up and coming like favorite actors because, especially after seeing Black Klansman, like, I just thought he was fucking awesome in that, and he's just got this cool sort of air about him, and he obviously I know he also plays Kylo Ren, so that's going to go right out the window as soon as I mention this, but. He just seems like kind of that likable guy that you'd want to hang out with in a lot of his movies, you know?
Well, I haven't seen Black Klansman yet. I want to see it.
Oh, it's so good. You got to see it.
Not because of the director,
No.
but the subject matter.
Right.
You know, I'm definitely in on that, and I want to check it out. One of these days, it's going to happen.
Yeah, see it.
But yeah, I mean, so I don't know how good the range is on Adam Driver's acting chops. Apparently, he must have some decent chops going for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have starred as Kylo Ren in Star Wars. But I really like, and it's refreshing. And there's a couple of refreshing, there's a couple of refreshing reasons why I think this movie is better than most think it should be, or most think that it is, I should say. Is that it's in spite of everything that's going on around them, the acting is so laid back and it feels very, very natural, very organic. And I am a sucker for organic dialogue.
Mm-hmm. And I think I would say that's a hallmark of Jim Jarmusch of his stuff. Like I just get that feeling watching a lot of his stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, you probably mentioned it. I was downstairs, but I mean, coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I said that you always mentioned.
He actually mentioned that you'd bring it up.
Ding. But no, that's one thing that he's fucking great at, and it's not all like it's not all like punchline stuff.
Yeah.
But no, that was a flick that was all talking. And there was some great dialogue in Ghost Dog, even with the Italian guys, and even Ghost Dog and his French ice cream vending friend.
Yeah. But one of the other things I noticed was, we had this great pairing of Adam Driver and Bill Murray, and then in one of the next scenes, we had Danny Glover and Steve Buscemi. And that was a great pairing too. I don't know if they've ever like acted against each other, but like. And obviously, like we have Steve Buscemi, who is he was basically a MAGA guy. He was wearing a "Make America White Again" hat.
A little on the nose, but let's call it what it is.
I mean, that's obviously a dig. I mean,
right.
What the hell? Why not? But when I got to that point where we saw Glover and Buscemi together, I started getting an overwhelm. I got something in my throat. Hold on. Somebody talk.
Yeah, let MZ get a drink. He's going to die otherwise.
I don't know what's going on with me. I started feeling a sense of sadness watching that.
I think I know where you're going to go with this.
Because I'm watching some of my favorite actors getting old right in front of my eyes.
It's funny you say that.
And it's all collecting in one movie, and it can be mad and sad.
It's funny you say that, MZ, because looking at this cast and some of the actors, I kind of get the thought that this could be potentially the last time we see some of these people on screen. This could be somebody's last movie.
I'm not going to go that far.
Well, it's not an untrue statement, but you may be aging some of them a little more than you should.
But to be in a theatrical release, not to nickel and dime by, but like.
No, I think you're overstating.
Well,
this.
I mean, Glover, he's up there in age.
If he was getting too old for this shit in '87,
well, that was an exaggeration.
And then you see Carol Kane, and it's like, God damn it, look at this. They're all in their 60s. A couple of them are close to 70.
Iggy Pop. Tom
That's what he's saying. Like a lot of these people, it could be the last movie.
I just said.
You said that.
No, I'm just upset that they're all getting old. I'm not saying it's their last movie.
Yeah, but potentially.
Nah, I think these guys got a long way to go. I think they got years ahead of them. I'm just upset seeing them all getting old. I just hate seeing that. It just kind of depresses me a little bit. It's a bit bittersweet. But seeing Glover interacting with Buscemi, that's funny.
And then Buscemi goes to leave. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta go. This coffee's too black for me." And then looks at Danny Glover like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like,
he's like, "I mean, strong." Yeah, and that's sort of the first taste you get of kind of the social commentary. And I don't know if there was anything to it, but the name of the town was Centerville. Like, I kind of was wondering if it was like kind of in the center, like there's people on both sides. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I thought it was that name sort of stuck out to me. But
to me, it felt like a Middle America sort of name. But as the movie kept on going and going and going, the movie felt very Pacific Northwest to me.
Wait, they made it, but I think they were near like Ohio, right? Or
well, the film was shot in New York.
Yeah, well, they actually they mentioned Potter's Field, which is in New York. So I think it's
Potter's Field is a general term for people that don't have no one claim their bodies. Any place could have a Potter's Field.
And there's a fucking super dope Anthrax song.
Yeah,
White Noise, so.
Exactly. That's what I thought of.
Ohio was obviously it wasn't Ohio because those people were out of state.
But then they say they were like, they're from Chicago. Or they mentioned
Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. Yeah. They were drawing conclusions. They had Ohio plates. They were hipsters. They're probably from Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously this didn't take place in Ohio outside of Cleveland.
And Evil Corny says Buscemi's name was Frank Miller.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that.
too.
I didn't catch that. Interesting.
That too. You know what else I caught was how Bill Murray, Adam Driver, and what's her name, Chloe Sevigny, all their names ended in son.
Yeah, for a minute I almost thought that Chloe was the daughter of Bill Murray's character for a brief moment when she mentioned her name.
Yeah, because his name is Robertson, Driver is Peterson, and Sevigny is Morrison. And I thought that was kind of a shout to
Jim.
No. I kind of thought that was like a shout out to Jesus, what the hell's his name? For Christ's sake, Hot Fuzz. Director, give it to me.
Jim.
Shut up.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah. I thought it was because in Hot Fuzz, almost everybody in that movie, their last name ends in ER. So I thought
in this
it was kind of like
SON.
No. It ends in E. That all their last names end in E.
I'm saying in this it ends in son.
Yeah.
There's also Danny Glover was Hank Thompson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's true. So.
And Buscemi was Frank Miller.
Yeah.
So I felt that was kind of like a shout to Edgar Wright's
Shaun of the Dead.
No,
Hot Fuzz. But he made Shaun of the Dead. And this is about zombies.
Don't make this confusing.
You're making it confusing.
No, I'm not making it confusing. Shut up.
You're making it convoluted.
No, I'm not making it convoluted. I'm just saying that I just thought the way Jarmusch uses SON for a lot of their last names, I thought it was a shout out to Edgar Wright's Hot Fuzz, where everybody's name ended in ER. I just thought it was like a minor shout out to him about that.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some reason, but I don't think that there was a shout out to that. But
yeah, that's a stretch.
Well, you can think whatever you want.
I know I can't.
You could think whatever. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm the one who noticed it. All right.
He's the producer.
So I'm the one who noticed it. So
No. You're the one who drew that conclusion.
Yeah.
It's an easy conclusion.
It's not an easy conclusion that one has ER and one has son.
No, it's an easy conclusion that a lot of characters have the name Son and a lot of characters have the name ER. That's what I'm saying.
But you're drawing the conclusion.
Because I noticed it.
Yeah. Well, I noticed the son too. I didn't bring it up because I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal either. I just thought it was interesting.
Marion says, I have a crush. Where's the find it from the Aries? There you go. I'm concerned about that part. So Marion says, I have a crush on Kylo Ren. Don't tell Raven Shadow.
Oh.
Well, fair. No. And to be fair, there's some similarities, profile-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do kind of look like Adam Driver a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I think I'm older. He looks like me.
You're both, skinny, gawky looking guys.
Yeah, you do throw temper tantrums.
You do have a long face.
Temper tantrums.
It's a good thing you don't have a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better, Johnny. Okay.
and you do have a long face.
Yeah, well, fine. Yeah. I was long.
Why the long face, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, genetics.
Evil Corny says Hermit Bob didn't have a last name.
I thought it was Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
And Chromcast Josh says, for real, sounds like you guys got it figured out. I wouldn't know where to start. At my old place, some switches on a control board would get stuck and it would cause the coils to freeze up somehow. I had to periodically hit it with a hammer. It's what the service tech guy did. Glad we moved before it had it replaced. So, yeah. I think I thought he was talking about us, but I think he's talking about Cordy's air conditioner.
Okay, I'm like,
I'm
like, oh shit, I meant tech issues.
Yeah,
that's my universal fix for my computer at work is hit it.
It's good.
And how funny was it watching Iggy Pop in like a bodysuit? He actually put on looks like he put on like 60 pounds.
Oh, see, his neck looked like like kind of like fucking like Chet.
He almost looked. I was thinking Danny DeVito from Batman Returns.
Okay.
I mean, he must be he's probably the only one in history to play a zombie and actually have to gain weight to do the role.
It's fair, yeah.
And so that we have I thought one of the other interesting things is, so we have the kids in this. They kind of cut to the kids in like, what was it, like a detention center or something like that?
Yeah,
like a bad kids home or something.
Yeah, home for bad kids. And there was the one who kept sneaking down to like hang out with his friends.
Geronimo.
Yeah, and they were on. He was kept going down to the women's floor, the girls' floor, and hanging out with them, and kept getting in trouble for that. And
to be fair, if I was in a boys' prison, I'd want to hang out in the women's section too.
Sure. But like we had like these typical sort of like bonehead, like almost like cop-like guys, like, oh, you want to hang out with the girls, like making fun of them. So like it definitely seemed like we were showing a sort of political divide with a lot of these encounters that we have, especially with Danny Glover and Steve Buscemi, with the kids and the sort of, the I don't know what you'd call them, the detention center, like guards or whatever. I don't know what they're called, but
yeah,
and I think so. We definitely got to see some kind of different sides of the coin, if you will, and I was wondering where that was going to go because, like obviously I think it later as we get on further in discussing this, I think we might find a little bit more about that. But I think that was interesting of Sana, just kind of Jim Jarmusch kind of just showing what's going on in the world and kind of showing what's going on in the film with that. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
I thought it was great, man. I think I don't know is when we're talking about it, but the whole what was happening in their environment was fucking perfect way to make this happen. A perfect origin for the events that follow.
Yeah.
Oh, the cause of it all.
Yeah. I mean, it was fucking great. Like even down to like, should it be darker out?
Yeah,
yeah. And then because it starts getting rather environmentally conscious and what it is that causes the dead to rise from the graves.
And I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it's also pretty topical compared to, at least when we saw it, compared to what was happening in the news. Especially with the Maggie Simpson girl fucking dropping science.
Greta.
In front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And it definitely shows that the kids are the smart ones in this. Like they're the ones, they were the ones that knew exactly what was going on when they were watching the news and like, this is this, and they were like sort of like the ones who were informing the audience about what was going on. I thought that was an interesting choice.
Right, because even like Geronimo, and the girls were talking about that's how bad that is. And to be fair, I knew that too, and it's still a concern of mine in Superman 1. The Dick Donner when I love Clark, but you can't fucking turn the world back on its axis without causing bad shit to happen.
Yeah.
Like that's really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, Adam Driver's character was able to get away with it as well. With very minimal amount of information given to him at the time.
Yeah, but we find out later on why he knew so much.
True.
I mean, I want to unpack a lot of that part of this too.
We can't.
We could. I think we can talk. Like a
little bit.
Yeah, I honestly don't feel that there's major spoilers in this.
I feel what he wants to throw out, like throw on the table, I think is a major thing.
It might be. I will say it this time. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to say it. Fuck it. I fucking love this movie. I don't give a fuck. So I'm whip it out right now. What took me out of it was 2 lines of dialogue that I don't know. I want to either discuss here secretly or discuss off the air. And I have a theory.
Was it the meta thing?
Yes. So I think it was the very meta or self-awareness dialogue.
Towards the end. Right?
And I will say this, the ending in the car. And I will say that as I was watching this, when a certain song played, I actually, in my head, said the line of dialogue that Adam Driver said. And then I can later on, like, I kind of like to play an Atomic Dog, which no one outside of this room is going to get. Like, I called it to myself. A certain dialogue that's used.
You did an Atomic Dog.
I did, yeah. And once again, no one knows what that means. But,
yeah,
but
no.
All right, now what about Tilda Swinton's character?
Well,
of Zelda Winston.
Interesting thing. Once again, it's not really a big spoiler in terms of it's not going to ruin your enjoyment of the film, but I think it's more of a surprise as to where her arc ends up going. So I kind of don't want to.
Oh boy, is it a surprise!
But
yeah,
like
I
almost feel like it leaned into
much.
Like no. It leaned into characters that she plays. Because I think she plays some bizarre characters in a lot of her films, and I think that's kind of what they leaned into it a little bit towards the end of her character arc. I thought it definitely came out of left field, but I thought it was cool, and I thought she was great. Like I thought that character was fun, and I thought it was she had some great scenes.
It's the deadpan delivery of all the lines, primarily between Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, and Bill Murray. Very deadpan deliveries on all their lines, really. Except for Bill Murray, a couple of times where he starts ratcheting up his, for lack of a better term, excitement. The spacing between the dialogue between all 3 characters is, at times, for me anyway, rather uncomfortable. It got really, really odd because the spacing between dialogue was getting to the point where it was deliberately spaced out like maybe 2.5 times more than what it should be. It almost like if you hear the dialogue from the movie True Stories, David Byrne's movie True Stories, that's almost the same kind of vibe. And that because for the longest time I was trying to figure out where have I heard that kind of dialogue spacing and syntax before.
Okay.
And I kept on thinking, and bam, it hit me. It was True Stories, and it's almost like that because it I don't know if it has to do with location, because the location of True Stories was taking place in a small little western town, small little Texas town, I should say, while this is taken in a small little town in who knows where. Centerville, Ohio, I think we
determined it wasn't Ohio.
Oh, it wasn't Ohio. Okay. So it could have been anywhere. And not that any normal person would think that would have anything to do with it, but I'm far from normal.
It's fair.
So this is how I think.
Yep.
But that's exactly the kind of rhythm in the dialogue that I was thinking of was True Stories. It was so off kilter that it just made it somewhat uncomfortable. Probably more uncomfortable than the situation that these characters find themselves in. Because I've seen enough zombie movies to last a lifetime. I think we all have.
Right.
And we've certainly reviewed enough to last half a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's just so bizarre how the dialogue in this movie is spaced. But it's wonderfully done. I find it thrilling, in fact. Even if it's about nothing at all, even if it's about talking about the song that's playing on the radio, and now they can buy it on CD. It's which was great. It's just a bizarre, surreal, uncomfortable moment for me whenever these guys talked. But I loved it at the same time because it made me feel so uncomfortable.
Well, see, the cops talking, I think it's a cross in between the low energy, low brow kind of backwoods. They're not city folk. This is the backwater hills of whatever state they're in. It is very, it is, they're just, you're missing just that hill accent to their conversations. And also you're dealing with the whole, cop mentality. Not mentality. There's a certain thing that happens when you drive around with someone for 8 hours a day and your only interaction is you're just staring out a window of a cruiser and you're just having mind-numbing conversations waiting for something to happen. Right. Like you're not getting into conversations which are going to change the world, but you're not getting into, nice weather. It's you find that median point, and that's where these cops are, where it's just you can ask a question and there can be 5 minutes in between the answer because there's nothing else going on, and that's where they are. And I feel this director nailed that to a T. Like watching these cops sitting in their cruiser, whether it's the two of them or the three of them, they nailed that. Just that mind-numbing. The world is falling apart around you, and you're just having this. You want to go for donuts? Like it's just. I mean, granted, that was before that, but it was just that same thing, like that conversation. You want to go for coffee and donuts? No. You want me to stop and get coffee and donuts? Like it was just.
I could bring it back to the precinct.
Yeah. That was just
he wanted to get fucking some coffee and donuts.
Okay, so it's like, yeah, they've driven around with each other for so long. Anything interesting that they have to say to each other, that's already been done.
It's not necessarily. It's just
that they know each other so well to the point that they're just bored with each other.
They're almost having a conversation with themselves.
Well,
all right.
It kind of the way Aries is sort of remembering it or relaying it. It reminds me of, you guys remember Dragged Across Concrete, the Mel Gibson and
yes.
Vince Vaughn. Remember that scene where Vince Vaughn is eating the sandwich?
Yeah.
That scene was so fucking awesome. It was like 10 minutes of him eating a sandwich or something.
He actually had lunch.
He did. So it just reminds me that seemed very realistic as well. And I think that, this definitely felt like, I think they captured kind of a very realistic sort of element in such a kind of ridiculous world, and I think that's kind of grounding. What are you guys doing over there?
Nothing.
We're watching the dog kill Bruce.
Oh.
Yeah. All he is, he's gutting the baby.
Yeah. There's chum everywhere.
In case people don't know, the doll he's chewing on is a shark. So.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Bruce is the shark that was named in Jaws.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all alive.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah, who doesn't know that?
Johnny.
What?
And you know what
Johnny knows that.
I do know that.
All right, just this little small thing. I love the fact that Rosie Perez's name was Posey Juarez.
Right.
I like that. It's about time someone did that. You know
what? She was good.
That was done somewhere else too recently.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't remember where, but I remember there was something else that was done in.
I thought that was funny.
She was good.
A stupid, funny joke, but I liked it. You know what I loved most about this, and this is the second part of why I thought this was really, really amazing to me. This is the first, and as far as I can tell, maybe only legit people versus zombies zombie film in which there's no anti-hero. American film I'm talking about. There's no anti-hero. There's nobody, on the bad side of things, trying to make things worse or trying to make things better, but for his benefit. It's everybody is likable.
Yes.
Everybody is personable. I seem to like everybody in this movie.
Steve Buscemi.
But even he was.
Well, he's not. Well, he's not an anti-hero.
I think he was just a fucking dumb.
But he's not likable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as what it looks like his political views are concerned, no. But
there's nothing likable about him. If you explode him further, he would be the anti-hero of this.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the anti-hero usually lasts a hell of a lot longer than Buscemi's character. No, I don't buy into it.
If you exploit him further, and you know what I mean.
I don't believe
it's not like many people lasted as soon as this thing erupted.
Right. I mean, this was the town that probably didn't, not a lot of survivors in this town. The hero didn't come from this town.
But he wasn't a guy who tried to stop the zombies and make it better for himself.
How do you know that? They didn't explore him.
Oh, for Christ's sake! What do you want? A fucking?
That's what I'm saying.
You want him to lay down on a couch so you can?
If they had explored him further, he would have been the anti-hero.
Yeah, well, they didn't. Okay, so we take with what we got.
I think it's fucking timestamp, Johnny. I think I'm kind of with MZ on this one.
What?
I am because no, and only this one. Let's not get fucking crazy. But no. I there was nobody that was. You actually care for these characters, unlike Montserrat said, there wasn't the asshole rich guy who has the boat, and there wasn't the evil cop or evil military persona.
Yeah, there was no evil military or anything like that. It was wonderful. It was refreshing.
You know what? I mean, well, maybe you guys have a different definition of people you like or not, but I didn't like Steve Buscemi.
Right now, I'm changing mine.
I didn't like the two males in the back of the in the car.
Two males.
Oh, the young kids, the hipsters.
The what?
The hipsters. The two male hipsters.
From Cleveland.
You don't have to like them for them not to be anti-heroes.
What about
you just said every character's likable.
Oh shit.
What about Larry Fessenden?
Larry Fessenden was awesome.
He was.
Keep going, Aries. I'm ready for this. Let's go.
You what?
I want to yell at him some more.
You just signing
all
him.
All right. Let me take back the whole likable thing for Christ's sake, just to make Aries happy. Okay. Just so he doesn't have a shit fit.
Too late.
There is.
Can I borrow some drawers?
There is no anti-hero in this movie. That's the point that I'm trying to make. There's no anti-hero in this movie, and that's refreshing to me. I like that. And it's about goddamn time too. Seriously, I thought it was great.
I'm not saying I want action figures of everybody in this fucking flick, but
I do.
They're fair. At least like 4 people. But they weren't all stereotypes, is what I think. Maybe how's that? There's not all like zombie cliche where you want these people to die.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like I didn't want any of these characters to die. I wanted them all to live and become friends.
The interesting thing when you mentioned that, I didn't get a chance to really explore this more or even give it much thought. But so I'll just, so it's not going to be a super informed observation, but maybe you guys can add to it if you had any thoughts. But I thought the 3 cops were three very different personalities of how people react to horror. You know, there's the one who's always cool, who knows what's going to happen. There's the one who's very, acts on sort of emotion. In this case, would be Chloe Sevigny's character. Especially when faced with, kind of insurmountable odds at the end. And also Bill Murray was sort of the cool. I don't know. He was the one I couldn't get a good read on, but he was kind of like the cool, like sort of nonchalant, but he would get angry. At times. So I just thought it was an
Slightly
interesting.
skeptical.
Yeah, exactly. I
was slightly, but
so I thought it was interesting the way that they, sort of portrayed those three characters.
I just want to backpedal 1 second. I hate to. I really want to prove MZ wrong, but I can't say it. There is an anti-hero. I don't know if he's going to agree with me or not. You know what?
Bob?
Just say yes or no. If you think about it.
No.
No, you don't agree with that?
No.
Cassie?
Okay.
Cassie?
No.
Oh, can you not
No.
say?
It's a spoiler.
Well, I mean, is this? Are we
that could be a spoiler, so I would agree, but I don't think so.
Johnny or Corny? Are we using anti-hero correctly?
Oh, for Christ's sake! For Christ's sake, Rhodes was an anti-hero. Cooper was an anti-hero. Okay, Blade from Dawn of the Dead was an anti-hero. Okay,
Well, Blade from Blade.
Give this shit.
Yeah.
Now, what about the way? Now, what about the way that these zombies died? And they didn't go with gore and blood. They went with like a dust or an ashy sort of thing, which I really feel. I understand that this is a comedy, but if they went with a more serious tone with this, that could have been the idea of using, the idea of having dust or ash come from a body rather than blood could be a hell of a lot more devastating and frightening in a serious zombie film.
What's funny, I don't think this is that much of a comedy.
I laughed a couple of times.
No, I did, but not
more
like,
than a couple.
I laughed my ass off. I think it's a satirical. It's a satire of basically of sort of what our society is like right now.
Yeah, but so it's not like a zombie land where it was all let's get the fucking Twinkies. You know what I mean? That kind of shit.
This is situational comedy. It's not really joke punchline all the time. It's more situational. Like, just as one example I'll call out is I fucking lost it when Adam Driver drove up in his fucking smart car at the crime scene. I
bored laughing.
I rewound it like 4 times and I fucking lost it. Just seeing him drive up in that little smart car, and that's not a fucking joke. Like, I mean, people own those, but that scene was so hilarious. I don't actually know. I don't know. Because I did watch it a few times. It sounded like they put a TIE Fighter sound on.
Yes, yeah, that definitely was a TIE Fighter sound.
So,
did they really?
Yeah.
So that's
I didn't catch that.
Where some self-awareness was. Where can we say? I mean, this is going to end badly. I mean, that was obviously a play on. I get a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
by all means, yeah.
I mean, and he kept saying it. The Prius, I totally heard some kind of Star Wars scene.
I got to see that again.
No, it was just a smart car.
It was
the
a smart
Prius.
car, not the Prius.
Smart car.
Smart car. All right.
The female cop drove the Prius.
Yeah.
He drove the smart car.
And his keychain
had the Star Destroyer on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Star Destroyer and his keychain.
So on one hand, I was almost kind of like the fucking movie with second Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, with Garfield with the Under the Silver Lake with the Spider-Man comic. Yeah.
Yeah, and the red and blues and stuff. I mean, like, and don't tell me. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jim Jarmusch isn't going to be on the show, but I'm pretty sure he had Adam Driver in mind when he wrote this, and it wasn't like he's having to audition. Like that was.
I mean, he may have, but I mean, those are simple enough things just to throw in.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I mean, that was
Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was he would have pulled the character would have pulled up to the diner one way or the other. Throw in a TIE Fighter sound, little humor.
Yeah.
Throw in a Star Destroyer keychain, little humor. I mean, it's If it was Tobey Maguire, it would have been a Spider-Man keychain.
Right.
You know, it just that's a little extra thing they could have thrown in very easily.
Seabiscuit or something like a
I
horse.
just want a super cut of Adam Driver pulling up in that smart car, or like 10 hours of that, and I would watch that all day. Oh my fucking god!
That thing was amazing.
And then when he went into the crime scene, he said, "Oh yuck!" Like his reaction.
Yeah. No, what's funny about that smart car is, I mean, outside of its appearance, is that it's very eye-catching because everything around in that town is so drab and blue. You know, looks like a fresh rain just came through that night, or that day. And here comes the little smart car, bright red, bright white colors. You know, it sticks out like a sore fucking thumb. So, I mean, it's not only just the appearance of that, but it's also the colors that's used on that car that just sticks out like a sore thumb. It totally does not belong there, which makes it hilariously funny.
Oh yeah, because that's the type of town that it's Buick Skylarks and '88 Dodge pickup trucks. It's just someone to be putting around in a smart car. It's just completely out of place.
Oh shit, that's funny.
We got Sorry, Rich. I was going to say we're got our boy Carlo hanging out with us, and he says it is a satire. I agree. That scene was perfect, and I love the whole Star Wars thing with his keys. That whole scene of them each walking into the diner and then coming back out and each talking about what's going on. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh,
the whole
it was a wild animal or a bunch of them.
wild animals.
It reminded me of that. Did you guys see that 30 to 50 feral pigs meme? I'm
What
guessing
is it?
no. All right, guessing no.
Oh.
No. There was a whole. It was a social media thing. It was like a big meme. I'm explaining the joke now, so it's not going to work. But it was basically like for like gun control, and some people were saying that they need guns because you never know, there may be a 30 to 50 feral pigs attacking their children or something like that. It was very like ridiculous and specific, but that's what it reminded me of. Is it could be a wild animal or a few wild animals.
Corny loves Hermit Bob's rifle.
Really?
Yeah, Corny says, I was just going to ask you about the TIE Fighter sound, Wolfie. And yeah, it definitely, like, that was, if not a TIE Fighter, like, it was definitely like some sort of, it's supposed to be like a, like a spaceship kind of sound when he's driving that smart car.
What came to my mind was the sand speeder.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there's some sort of sound.
It was something from a galaxy far, far away. Let's all agree.
I'll have to watch that scene again because I missed it. That's funny though.
I would be remiss if I didn't. I don't want to forget this. I gotta mention the RZA who was driving the WPS truck.
WPS, yeah.
That was fucking awesome. And like, I loved his little words of wisdom. Like, and I actually really liked that kid at the gas station. Was
me
name?
too, Frodo.
Bobby
or whatever his name is.
The Hobbit kid. Everyone seemed to call him like some Hobbit-related reference, which was pretty hilarious. But,
what was he asked RZA for the science for the drops of knowledge? What was the line?
Well, he asked him for some advice, and so he said the world is perfect. Appreciate the details.
That's right. Yeah.
Which actually like is interesting because it's sort of counter to what someone says at the end of the film. I won't say who, just it's not really a spoiler, but it basically was, the world is a fucked up place like that. Just that's not verbatim. That's kind of just summarizing, But it's interesting to see how one of the characters lived versus how the others did, But yeah, I love that scene with the RZA, the WPS truck, and he gave him the comic, and he's like, "Here, I'll just give it to you." And I just thought that was a cool scene,
They have to have those shirts, right?
I don't know.
Which shirts?
You should make them and make $1 million.
What, the WPS?
Yeah. With the fucking Wu-Tang logo. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, and Evil Corny just pointed out that the Hobbit guy was the brother in Get Out, which I did thought he looked familiar, and I looked him up. And I
He
saw
looked
that.
familiar, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, really?
So he
Okay.
was the sort of like snooty brother. You know,
Yeah.
in Get Out. Yeah.
Huh? No kidding.
Carlos says, I like how they use the smart car at the end when driving around all the dead down the street, then kills a zombie. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny as well.
But that's the thing. I think even with like, what do you want to call it? You know, satirical or satire. I guess it's both the same thing, depending on how you use it. But
do you know how to use it?
No.
Are you surprised?
I'm not really sure. But like once again, this is definitely not an apples to apples comparison to Shaun of the Dead. But
I don't think it's
even
even a comparison. They're totally different.
Correct. But I think with both had moments where, you know, zombies was still a threat. The zombies weren't jokes. I mean, you could have fun with them, but when you get a bunch of them, you can't get out. You can't escape, you know. Ain't no fucking Daryl Dixon going to save you.
Well, I mean, a zombie's a zombie. What movie is a zombie not a threat?
But I mean, like, there's different, like, you know, there's the fast zombies or the whatever the fuck, you know.
Whatever the fuck.
But, all right. Let me try to change it then. Despite the satire or maybe the cast involved, the zombie threat never was gone for me.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
It was in spite of it being a satire, the zombie threat was effective.
Exactly. Like I'm not trying to shit on fucking Zombieland. I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's fine. But like, I was never scared for Woody Harrelson or the other two.
The other two.
You know, the two girls and the other one. I'm pretty sure they're all gonna in the sequel. I'm pretty sure they all make it out alive.
They're all there. They're all in the sequel.
Yeah,
they're all back.
You know, but looking at this movie, I'm like, oh shit, it's all gonna end badly for people I like.
And that makes it even worse.
Right. You know what I mean? Like,
that makes it much more entertaining in that regard.
Because it didn't have those stereotypes, and you know, and once again, when you care about the characters, their deaths are more.
And when they're and because it's a satire, if you had like no-name actors or low-name actors playing these parts, it wouldn't be as effective. But because we know this is Adam Driver, because we know this is Chloe Sevigny, because we know this is
Bill motherfucking Murray, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Bill Murray, Danny Glover. Because we know that who these people are, Carol Kane.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's awesome seeing her.
Oh my God!
How great was it? She was fantastic.
Yeah.
He
was hilarious as well.
Yeah, and fucking the Scrooge too. That was a nice little bit of.
Well, yeah. You know, well, it was not only that. Not only that. I noticed that. Yeah, it was not only that. It was Scrooged with Carol Kane and Bill Murray, but Bill Murray and Danny Glover in the Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, because you had these names and because they all played, you know, likable characters, you know, it kind of hits you a little bit hard because it is a satire, and it's because of that satire that plays off of what is considered to be a real threat of zombies. It makes you care for those characters a little bit more because they're name actors, which is so bizarre because it's true, you know, and that normally doesn't happen, but in this film it happened and it worked and it was effective.
And it can be so dangerous too when you have these movies with these great ensemble casts. You know, sometimes like this movie could be amazing or it could be complete shite. You know, we've seen those large, you know, maybe it's a cameo here or there, but yeah, it was remarkably effective for what they were doing.
And also, one thing we haven't mentioned is the makeup. I thought the effects were really, really awesome.
They were great.
I liked them. Yeah, they were good.
I did enjoy them. I did feel that the powder aspect of it was a way to keep the cost down, but it was effective.
CGI powder.
Yeah, I just feel that was probably a lot more expensive than having all the blood and guts, but I just feel it was effective.
Yeah, and it ended up being, like MZ said, kind of a different thing. You know, just a different take on it, which I thought was cool. But yeah, I thought for the most part, especially the first two zombies that you see Iggy Pop and Sarah Driver. I don't know if she's related, but I do know that it's Jim Jarmusch's partner. So I don't know if there's any relation to Adam Driver, but yeah, the first two zombies I thought looked awesome, and they got the most screen time as well. So, I think that they looked pretty unique and sort of. I'm not going to say they're wholly original zombies, but they definitely weren't your standard fare. They looked a little bit different, and I thought that was cool.
Well, it is Iggy Pop. I mean,
I don't know why they have Iggy Pop wearing a bodysuit to show to show him bigger than what he normally is.
Yeah,
when
it's funny,
just having him the way he is now, he can play a zombie. No,
well,
sweat.
I think they were trying to have him be bloated.
Yeah,
a bloated Iggy Pop.
Yeah, the bloat. Is there such a thing?
you just saw it in the movie.
I was chatting with Corny when I was watching it. He made the comment, "Who the hell fucking buries someone dressed like that?" And and I'm like, "Well, it's fucking Iggy Pop. I'm pretty sure when his time comes, it's how he's gonna be fucking buried."
Yeah. Like G.G. Allen burying him in a jockstrap.
Perfect.
Smeared with feces.
Smeared with dog shit, smelling like piss.
Oh fuck!
Everybody's spitting on his grave.
You're a weird fucking guy, man. Your obsession with that dude.
What a character that dude was.
He was a character. Yeah, he was a scamp.
One of the other awesome things about this that I haven't really, I mean, I guess it's been broached in other zombie movies, but this one I thought just really drove the point home. All the zombies basically, instead of saying brains, they said the thing that they were like, or kind of like their vice almost in a way.
Yeah.
Chardonnay.
Yeah, and so I actually wrote down a bunch of them because I was curious what they were. I stopped after a few of them, but I got coffee, free cable TV, Chardonnay, candy, Snapple, Snickers, popsicles, toys, Skittles, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Xanax, Ambien, and guitars.
That's true. Yeah.
Everything in today's world.
And they're all, I guess you could say, sort of vices in a way. Like, I don't know. I guess coffee could be. Like, the thing I took away from that is sort of this whole coffee culture thing of people going out and buying like a fucking soy latte, whatever the fuck, like paying like $5-6 for coffee and doing that like several times a day. It's consumerism. A lot of this was consumerism, and what people were sort of infatuated with, or what their vice was, and I thought that was really interesting. Well,
that was great. I know they didn't invent the whole talking zombie stuff, but like even them doing what they're used to doing,
And the thing I was alluding to in Land of the Dead, wasn't it Big Daddy? Didn't Big Daddy go to like? He was starting. Didn't he go to like the gas station he worked at?
The gas station.
The gas station
he was a
where he
mechanic.
worked at.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, that movie was kind of shite.
Well, until you see Diary of the Dead and
all right.
And
all right.
Survival of the Dead.
To be fair,
we're grading on a curve. Here you go.
Okay, yeah. In retrospect, it's a fucking masterpiece.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I take that back. Sorry, Leguizamo. Who was great? And Dennis Hopper was in that, right? Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
D Hop.
Yep, and John Leguizamo.
You're on fucking fire. Monsters is the funniest joke ever before we were on air, and I'm gonna be thinking about it.
I think we got it on the backup recorder.
Really? Okay, good.
What was it again? I forget.
Fucking
Moon Knight
Shyamalan.
It's not as funny on the second time.
That's what the M stood for. Moon.
Yeah.
Who knew?
He's
great
been Moon
brother.
Knight all along. But yeah, no, I thought that was a really interesting thing, and obviously that's not going to work in every zombie movie, but in this one, it absolutely worked in terms of what they were going for. So, I just thought that was interesting. Everyone was sort of like, and Iggy Pop and the other zombie in that diner scene, they were like coffee, and they would go over and grab the coffee and smash a glass or the carafe or whatever.
That's a pretty intense scene.
Yeah.
just to see Larry Fessenden, you know.
He was great.
He was, he was just so good.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He looked good. Yeah, it was nice. Fucking, it's good seeing him upping our Larry Fessenden. Quota.
Quotient. Yeah, two consecutive weeks now we've seen Larry in a movie.
But once again, I thought the environmental effects, the stuff with the animals, all really added to it. So much of this was in the details.
It was great world building, and it all made sense. It was a self-contained story that made sense, you know.
And you could definitely see this impacting after this film. You know, shit was going on after the credits rolled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we're I kind of want to wrap this up soon. We had a lot to say about this movie. There are some other things I do want to talk about, but it sort of borders on slight spoiler, and I don't want to get too deep into that. You know,
me too, John.
I think it's an experience that people should just check out for themselves, and you know, so that they're surprised by everything that happens. But I did like what it had to say. I think the big takeaway, without really giving much a lot away, is this is sort of a snapshot of our culture and sort of being part of the tribe of consumerism. And you know, like the one character who is sort of on the outskirts, if you will, like we see what happened to him versus what happened to everyone else. You know, they succumb to, you know, what happens, you know?
So it's funny. That's what, the whole consumerism thing was Dawn of the Dead, right? Is that where it started? Zombies being.
Yeah. I mean, that was sort of the you know, what they were trying to do with that. Yeah. What George was trying to do was kind of like, you know, the mall culture was sort of becoming a thing, consumerism. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of that.
But do you think this kind of like is out of all the millions and millions of zombie flicks that have come around, do you think this one is the most spiritual successor to that in terms of what it's saying, the metaphor it's trying to be?
Yeah.
Am I reaching?
No, I guess so. I would probably say that. I mean, it's just in terms of, you know, it's sort of taking off from that and being more with our society nowadays, you know, because
right,
the current climate. And I think the thing is like this movie does a great job of sort of taking the temperature of our climate right now. And what I mean is climate, like our society, and with a lot of the stuff that's going on with race relations, with gender, and a lot of other things like that, I think is broached in this movie. And it sort of is, you know, just basically don't be like a fucking zombie like everyone else, and you know, like be your own person, and you know, I think appreciate the details, but also realize that it's a fucked up place, you know? Instead of believing, because that's I thought that was interesting, because there was, you know, some words of wisdom obviously from RZA. You know, he said the world is perfect, appreciate the details. And I think, you know, one of the other characters is sort of, you know, what he's saying is the world is a fucked up place, and he kind of removed himself from civilization, was aware of his surroundings. There was that scene where he's walking through the woods, and actually T-Dog had brought this up. He's walking through the woods and he notices like new mushrooms, and like he's just aware of like all these things going on because he's paying attention. He's not sucked up in the fucking landslide of consumerism and you know, and politics and social media and everything, you know? So I thought that was really interesting that he was sort of a character that thrived because he was sort of outside of everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I think this movie does have a lot to say, and I think this is absolutely satire. It's a satirical look at our society now, and I think it does a great job. And on top of that, there is some good horror stuff, and there's some great situational comedy, because it's not a laugh out loud joke a minute movie, but right. You know, it's what's funny is people's reaction to this world and how, and I think that's the best part about it. And that's where we get the whole Adam Driver, oh yuck, and him in his fucking smart car and things like that. It's all these situations that pop up in the world that has been built, and I think that it's really smart, and I think it's really fun, and I guess I won't name names, but someone posted on I always posted on watching stuff, the movies that we're watching, and someone had basically said, "Oh, this movie was boring," and I don't know what you're looking for in a movie if you watch this and think this is boring. Maybe it's slow pace compared to other movies. If you're expecting a 2004 Dawn of the Dead, you're not going to get it. You're definitely not going to get it. But what you're going to get is interesting characters, great writing, and you're gonna see a snapshot of society. And if you can't understand that, I just think you're not paying attention. I don't know. I'm not saying this movie is definitely not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna like this movie, but I think if you just don't get it, you're just not paying attention.
Yeah, well, what's boring is coming out with the same style of zombie film, or just the zombie film in general. I mean, it's just gotten It's just gotten too tedious. It's the same thing over and over and over again. With lots of blood, running zombies, metal soundtrack, quick edits, and after a while, with the zombie boom that's been going on for like a decade,
10 years now,
a decade and a half, it hasn't stopped. So this was a very refreshing take on the zombie film. It's not completely original, but its tone is extremely refreshing.
And the fucking cast, nothing. The fucking cast was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see them interact and the dialogue, and once again, it ain't fucking a Bruckheimer film. It's fucking Jim Jarmusch.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you kind of got to know what you're getting into here.
Right. And if you don't, just be along for the ride and be open to what's going on, because that's what I don't get. I just don't see, I know this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if you pay attention, you'll sort of get what's going on,
I put this on at 10 o'clock at night, and I was fucking riveted and watched the whole thing and remembered it, retained the knowledge. I did. Did you fucking hear the episode? In fact, I cared less about the zombies. I just wanted to see Adam Driver and Bill Murray running amok, and fucking Frodo and DG, hanging out.
DG,
Danny Gloves.
Danny Gloves.
And you got actors that are synonymous with something. When you think of Bill Murray, you go directly to Ghostbusters. When you think of Adam Driver, you go directly to Star Wars. It's not like your two main actors are, name actors, right, but they're not really attached to anything. They're pretty much spread out all over the place as far as their work goes. But here it's like, oh shit, look at this. It's Peter Venkman working with Kylo Ren, busting up some zombs, and it's that kind of mentality that helps you appreciate this movie just a little bit more.
Yeah, and fucking D Gloves, nothing was rolling with fucking Lethal Weapon and also killed the fucking Predator.
That is true.
Hanging out with Mr. Pink.
Yeah. We call Airhead, sir.
All right, so I think it's about time. Was there anything else you guys wanted to bring up before we head to a verdict on this one?
I really want to give my take on the ending, but maybe I should do it off air.
Yeah, that would definitely be in the spoiler territory.
All right.
Anyone else? No.
All right.
Nope.
And of course, my program froze to play the music. All right, there we go.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether The Dead Don't Die was a trick or a treat. Any final thoughts we may have. And you know what? We always do the same order. Let's mix it up a little bit. What do you say, Raven Shadow? Let's go.
That, yeah.
Let's go with MZ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said it before, and I'll say it again. This was a very refreshing take on the zombie genre. Even though it's it's a satire, but I don't mind that. That's fine, And I guess in a way you could say, because it is a satire, this movie doesn't feel like it's dated. Like it isn't. Oh wait, well, it's just another zombie movie in the string of zombie movies that we've had in the past 15, 16 years. Because it's a satire, it could have fit 10 years ago, could have fit 15 years ago, but it came out now. I'm fine with that because it doesn't take itself seriously. And the cast is great, the reactions are great. I think because I always say acting is reacting, and the performances were fantastic. I thought Tilda Swinton was, we barely touched upon her, but I thought she was fantastic in this movie. This was a really entertaining, mildly fresh take on the zombie genre, and I'm glad it was made. I was all the naysayers that say that it's boring, then this isn't your kind of movie. Plain and simple. You want your fast edits, you want your running zombies, you want your gore and your violence, and your swearing up and down and whatever the fuck. That's fine. I'm down for that too, but I also like to have a little change in there somewhere to mix it up a bit.
It's a small change.
And this is it. This was done perfectly. Well, no, I won't say perfectly. This isn't entirely perfect. It does have a couple of flaws here and there, but nothing serious. It's this is a wildly entertaining film if you know how to watch it and you know how to be entertained by it. I recommend it. This is a treat. Check it out.
All right, Aries.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with MZ on a lot of this. It definitely is. It definitely is a treat. It's not an action-packed movie. This is definitely a slow burn movie. You can sit down and watch it. Sip your tea, stick your pinky out as you watch this movie. This is definitely not for the masses. This is for someone that enjoys the subtleties of cinema. Does definitely have some hitting meetings and a lot of what's going on. A lot of the acting is superbly done. Like, I wish some of these characters were in it more, just to see what they could have done. And it just the pacing and the timing of the movie was perfect for what it is. So I don't even know how you would try to squeeze in more of the characters, but just the fact that there were cameos on characters I love. Like, I would have loved to have seen Iggy Pop more in the movie. I'm a fan of his music. In what little acting I've seen, I'm a fan. I was excited that he was going to be in this movie, and the fact that he's just a zombie right from the get-go, I was like, oh crap. Okay, but I enjoyed him. I just would have liked to have seen it a little more, and a lot of other characters as well. Tilda Swinton, we probably could have spent an hour just talking about her, even though she's not a main character. Yeah. She's absolutely amazing in this movie. The first time she walks up to the police station with every deliberate corner on a sidewalk, nothing. She didn't round any corners. She walked, made a 90-degree turn, and walked. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. You can't say enough good things about everything about this movie. It's not perfect, but it is so much good about this movie. This movie is a treat.
All right, Rave Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I disagree with MZ where saying the movie doesn't take itself seriously. I think it does, and I think it pulls off a magic trick where it kind of puts all the kind of like zombie shit in there. There's something going on that got this cast together to do this, and there's a bigger reason for this than just hanging out with friends from other movies. I think for Jim Jarmusch to come out and do something like this, I I don't know. I'm fascinated to read more about it, but I also too, I think this movie is for everybody, but don't look at this trailer, look at this director, and look at this cast, and think you're getting fucking, a Gore Shriek, comic, come to life. It's not what you're gonna do. It's not, you're not getting that with this cast. So I mean, I truly think if you're at least a genre fan, or at least somebody that would sit at our table, and you don't like this, you might be broken, because it's fucking. I was remarkably riveted. It's fucking Bill fucking Murray.
Yeah.
RZA, Iggy Pop, fucking. I'm sorry. My only, what took me out twice was those 2 lines of dialogue, and I think I have a theory on it. But with that said, fucking treat, man. Treat. Fucking, not only for the show, but for movies I've seen this year. I fucking adore it. Watch it twice.
Especially that Adam Driver scene where he pulls up with the smart car. Watch that 10 times.
Johnny loves that shit, yeah. If you like Johnny, make him a meme of that. He'll fucking just lose it.
I'll just watch it all day. So, Evil Corny says, I told Raven Shadow that it would be too monically for him. I was wrong. He thought it was going to be too monically for you.
Yeah, I know, and we were chatting, because Corny and I chat a lot, and he's like, very monically. I'm like, how the fuck is it going to be monically?
To be honest, I didn't think you were going to like it.
Really?
Yeah.
I fucking adored it, man. I fucking adored it. Riveted.
I don't know why I do this to myself, but I was going and looking through some of the IMDb reviews, and people were like, worst movie ever, worst movie. I walked out of this after 30 minutes. Now, obviously, you're gonna get a lot of that, especially when it comes to, someone who has a style, like their own style. Jim Jarmusch has his own style, and a lot of what his MO is basically to get together with his friends and make a movie. That's kind of his MO. And
but what if any of that could you have thought would be fucking batshit crazy? Like, it's not fucking, you're not getting Mandy.
Right. So I don't.
But if you didn't know what this was.
Right. I think a lot of people were expecting a zombie horror movie, and I could see people being disappointed. Expectations were one thing, and then you get a Jim Jarmusch zombie movie. I could see that, but like it just, I don't know. It just makes me think it's almost like the thesis of this movie. It's almost proving its point, of these people are so fucking involved in all these other things that they're just missing the things that are like the beautiful things that are going on like under their fucking noses, and I feel that is sort of what's going on here. And for me, this was absolutely a fucking treat. This movie was so much fun. It has something to say. It's funny. It's got great performances. It's well written, and I just had a ball with it. This is, I guess, kind of what I didn't really have expectations coming in, but this is kind of what I wanted to see, and but I think that's the thing, and I think that the people who aren't getting it are the people that this movie is kind of poking fun at in a way. It's a satire, and I think I just think it's kind of it's almost meta in a sense that the people who hate this are the ones who are being sort of parodied in it. So
you know what? Oh,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what worried me was that when I first heard of this and I saw the cast, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, is it going to be like Cannonball Run, where you got a lot of big names and they're all spread out throughout the movie, or is it some big names and they're only going to be in it for like, say, maybe 3 minutes, but they get top billing because they're A-list names? And
Margot Robbie.
I was happy to find out that they're throughout all the film, the whole film. So that was also very good.
So I just to finish the point, I think it's really interesting that the people who aren't getting this are the people who this movie is sort of like about, and I don't know, there's just something kind of funny about that to me. But anyways, I really enjoyed this, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and once again, if you're expecting a balls out fucking crazy zombie movie, you're going to be disappointed. This is not that. I would recommend watching a Jim Jarmusch film prior, just to sort of get an idea of what's going on. Like, he's a very thoughtful director. He's a good director, but a lot of times it's, you're not going to get like a fast-paced film. It's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of interaction between characters, and there's some great actors in this that are chewing up scenery. And this movie delivered. So big time treat for me. Really enjoyed this movie. So that is going to do it for our discussion of The Dead Don't Die. It is available on VOD. If you guys want to check it out, go ahead and do so. I think it's also probably on Blu-ray and DVD now. I'll double check that in a sec.
Really? Wasn't it just out?
A few months ago, yeah. I mean, the time between theater to physical release is like nothing now,
That's fair.
You do know that like most movies, when they're in the Elm Theater,
yes,
they're already on DVD at that point.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how quick the turnaround is.
Yeah.
Second run theaters are competing with home viewing.
No shit.
Yeah,
This movie came out on my birthday.
It is available physical right now, DVD and Blu-ray. You can get it on Amazon. So order it today, get it on Saturday, folks.
And use that fucking link, motherfuckers.
Use our link, yeah. So
please.
I'm sorry. I was rude.
Okay.
I was getting sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All right, so that is.
Use the link or I'll cut you, motherfucker.
Suck, I'm gonna cut you.
Speaking of cutting, and we kind of talked about that scene, but that scene with Carol Kane when Adam Driver is trying to cut her head off was fucking hilarious.
You must play ball, huh?
Yeah. I played some Class A ball, I think he said.
Yeah.
All right, so next week we are going to be. This is another one I've been looking forward to. It is the latest film from Joe Bigas, director of. We've done 3 of his movies, I think, but he's directed Almost Human, The Mind's Eye, and now his latest film, Bliss, is on VOD starting tomorrow, the 27th of September. So it is a horror movie, and I think he tackles vampires in this one. So you're gonna see some Dracula's Raven Shadow.
Oh, Dracula's don't die.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did Jarmusch do that fucking movie with Loki and Tilda Swinton?
What?
Did Jim Jarmusch do the one with Loki and Tilda Swinton?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that. Only Lovers Left Alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't?
I don't think I did. Maybe I'll watch it. I gotta watch it again.
You probably didn't watch it.
I pretty much watched it.
No, you probably didn't.
That was a different continuity. I gotta watch that again.
But
and no one really talked about it, but that fucking song sucked, right? The Dead Don't Die song.
No, I liked it.
I kind of got catchy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I kind of drink the Kool-Aid.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it had that country twang to it, but you know what?
You think?
just a little bit.
And you know what? I feel there was a missed opportunity in not having
Tom Waits
sing the song.
Right?
I think that just would have been like perfect.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was at first. I'm thinking, wait, it's Tom Waits guys? Oh no, it's not.
It was a singer named Sturgill Simpson, and he was he played the guitar zombie in the movie.
Oh, the one dragging the guitar behind him.
Yeah,
that one.
Yep.
They love fucking name dropping him.
I know, right? So, all right, we're talking about next week, though, guys. So we're going to talk about Bliss, and I'm looking at the cast, and George Wendt is in it.
Yes.
And a bunch of other actors that we've seen in some other indie horror films. Jeremy Gardner, who was in the Battery. Graham Skipper. Yeah, we've seen Graham in a few films actually. Most recent, I think the most recent Graham Skipper one we did was Sequence Break, with the one about the video game.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The arcade. And Reese Wakefield looks familiar. Have we seen him in anything? Let me take a look. he was in True Detective, which I haven't seen, but he looks familiar. He was in the Purge. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, but I'm looking forward to this one. Bliss from director Joe Begas, who is a buddy of our buddy, Jarrett Blinkhorn. They grew up together. And Jarrett has co-produced a few of Joe Begas' films. So I've been looking forward to this one. And Joe has another movie coming out, I think, early next year called VFW, which is going to be put out by Fangoria. So that's another one we're going to check out as well when that does hit. But next week, Bliss, VOD, check it out. If you guys want to give us your thoughts, if you've seen it, send them to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. We'll be sure to get them on the air. Now, you know what? I was going to take a break, but it's almost 10:30 over here, and we have a few voicemail to get to. Are you going to live, Raven Shadow, if we don't take a break?
Fucking second week in a row, Johnny.
It's been a lot of weeks in a row, but that's perfectly fine.
I'll let you know. I might have to step out for a minute.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Did you just quit already?
Just start playing him. Just start playing him. Let him do what he needs to do.
All right. I will.
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Yeah, we're not gonna hold off the show so you can get your nicotine fix.
I got other fixes I gotta do.
Yeah, why don't you vape, Raven Shadow?
It's fucking bad for you, I hear.
That he won't do. That's fucking banned in this state now.
That's fucking crazy.
They pull all that shit off the shelves.
But smoking is fine. But smoking
only for 4 months, though. It's only for 4 months.
Well, I'm a health nut, Johnny. Listen, kids out there, listen, vapes are bad. Listen.
Raven Shadow talks about loving hot once, and now he's a health nut.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Loving Hot when Johnny's up. But seriously, smoke, Winston Gold's box. It's much safer for you than vaping. It's fucking crazy though, right? Like there's a fucking work involved, right? Once again, the Amazon forest is fucking burning down. Fucking,
I know, right?
America's become Beirut. Like, I fucking wish I lived in fucking Afghanistan.
Go smoke your cigarettes.
And big tobacco is fine, but that's fine. Vapes are bad for you.
All right. Well, why don't we hear from our friend from Wisconsin, First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. It's been a bit since my last voicemail, but so it's been kind of busy in the FTM zone, so I'm glad I'm able to talk with you guys today. The Dead Don't Die, that's on my list of stuff to watch. I've been meaning to, but been kind of busy with some stuff going on. But I was very saddened by the passing of Sid Haig, and I just wanted to, everybody was telling their Sid Haig stories, and I wanted to say a little bit about mine. My first exposure to Sid Haig was not through horror movies, but as 5 to 6 year old Mike was watching cartoons, there was a show on called Jason of Star Command. 1978. It was basically a live action science fiction show that Filmation did to basically riding on the crest of some little movie called Star Wars that was making a big hit back in 77. And, of course, the main villain was the evil Dragos, played by Sid Haig. And I always thought that he was a good Darth Vader-type villain, except a lot more sarcastic. He always had his table full of people in strange alien outfits clutching his fists and threatening the freedom of the galaxy, with only Jason of Star Command to stop his evil plotting. But I'm like, I really like this guy. He plays a good villain. And as I got older and my fare went more towards horror and exploitation, all the worlds of the movies of Sid Haig was always fun, and his appearance in both movies and television was always a welcome sight. And about maybe almost, I think it's almost 10 years ago, Milwaukee had a paranormal convention. It was only 1 year they had it, and at the time it was Sid Haig was one of the people I was able to meet. Unfortunately, my camera broke that day, and I wasn't with anybody that could really take my picture that I trusted, so and Dee Balls Stone did make fun of me about that, but I loved her too. But I wanted to get Sid Haig's autograph. I find that when I meet people and get their autographs, I always try to pick a picture or mention a movie that not a lot of other people do. If it's something that is an older movie of theirs, or when I met Claudia Christian around when she was doing Babylon 5, I got the picture of her as the stripper in the Hitcher, and so forth. A lot of times they'll talk to you more if you're not talking about sort of current. Maybe it's a movie they like, and a lot of times they'll talk to you a little bit more because you're showing interest in, not just whatever they're doing at the moment. But he had a picture of Dragos. So I picked a picture of Dragos, and he kind of looked, and he was an incredibly nice guy. I mean, I had heard him talking. I was in line with him and Eugene Clark, who played Big Brother in Land of the Dead, and they were talking about serial killers, and I was in the same line. And he was very nice and invited me to the they were having a retrospective in another area, and if I wanted to join, and I sat in, and very nice. But I picked the Jason the Star Command one, and he goes, "Oh, good one. This was good. This was back in the 70s." I go, "Yeah." I watched you when I was like 5-6 years old, and I thought you were a great villain." And he goes, "Thank you." And I said, the reason why I picked Jason the Star Command picture is that you didn't have a picture of yourself as the crystal throwing martial arts guy from the Galaxy of Terror 1981, the Corman movie, because I love that movie too. And he just looks and he smiles and he does this great Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding laugh that, I wish I would have had somebody recording. And he just said, Corman, Cormans. I could tell some stories about working on that movie too. And he laughed. And there was somebody behind me, so I couldn't talk to him long, but he made you feel like you were the only guy in the room and you were just talking with a buddy. And rest in peace, Sid Haig. You're hearing all the great stories now about how great a man he is, and he never really made a big deal about it, which, it's always the ones that you hear about after they're gone, and you know how much good they've done. Rest in peace, Sid Haig. I love you guys. Have a great week, and this is first time Mike saying goodbye. Bye.
All right, first time Mike. Thanks, man, and awesome hearing your story. Did any of you guys watch Jason of Star Command?
I've never seen it.
I watched it a little bit.
I know of it, but I if I've seen it, I don't remember it, but I know of it.
It's not an 80s sitcom, so you probably haven't seen it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Is it on Tubi?
But that was really nice. First time Mike, and appreciate you calling in and relaying your stories. Always good to hear from you, buddy.
One other thing about Sid is that he never fell into the Walking Dead effect. He put out a I think it was on his Twitter or Facebook, where he said that he would never fall in when he does the conventions, that he would never raise the prices of his autographs. Last I knew, it was always, at one time it was 20, then because of inflation it went to 25, and I think that was the highest it ever went. He was never going to be a part of that Walking Dead effect, where because of that show, everybody just started charging exorbitant amounts of money for just their autograph, and then extra money for their picture, which is complete and total bullshit.
Wait, Walking Dead didn't invent that.
Oh yes, they did.
They're fucking major league fucking. Celebrities do that.
It's called the Walking Dead effect.
Who calls it that?
People who go to cons, people who know. It's called you've never heard of it?
He is.
Don't ask him. I'm telling you.
He is right. It once The Walking Dead got involved in horror conventions, the price for meeting celebrities went way up.
Yeah,
it brought the horror conventions into the mainstream.
Yep.
You think Walking Dead did that?
Yes,
it did. Absolutely.
Yes. They're solely responsible for it.
All right. Well, maybe.
Raven Shadow doesn't believe it.
Maybe.
I don't believe it. Wasn't on the news.
Wasn't on the news. All right. Next, let's get a little check-in from our boy who's battling the big C, Jethro Nomicon.
Boy.
Hello, fellas. This is Jethro Nomicon again. Just calling to, I don't know, say I got some happy news. My my special collector's edition T-shirts came in from the charity drive that we had earlier this year. So I'm out and about with my sweetie dropping off shirts for those people that ordered them. You can check me out wearing my shirt on the Facebook page, of course, because it's super badass, like me. Also, I ate a cheeseburger today, and surprise, it took about 2 hours, but I did it. So anyway, all this traffic is making noise.
Shit.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was going to yell at that motorcycle. Okay, I won't keep you on the line too long because it's kind of noisy out here. But anyway, I just wanted to share the good news about my shirts. Yay! I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Is Dynamo over there?
Oh, wow. See this? Well, where's this traffic? Jesus Christ.
That was funny.
I love that dude so much.
I thought it was at first I thought it was fucking thought I was in like a dogfight. He was in a TIE fighter or some shit.
Yeah, driving in the fucking Morlock tunnels or some shit.
Morlock tunnels. Oh man. All right, we got a few more voicemail. Let's get to them. And by the way, I meant to comment, but yeah, that's super cool that Jethro got those shirts in, and I wish I had the. I wish he mentioned where people could get them, but
I thought I was gonna do that.
But
next week.
Yeah, but
Jethro.
next week we'll get that info. So, all right, moving on. Let's hear from Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. Out walking the dog, and I wanted to get you guys a quick message. Unfortunately, things have been real hectic around here. I've had way too much stuff going on, and I am not caught up on the movies. So, I think I'm a couple behind at this point, but I'll give it a good shot to catch up soon. I did just want to, send a message and say, hey, I'm still here, and, let you guys know that I will definitely be at Rock and Shock. I have been confirmed to do some panels, since there's no film room to be had this year, but that is all right. Threw my hat in the ring for the panels, and it looks like I'm doing, I don't know if I can say exactly what I'm doing yet, but I do know I've been scheduled to do a panel on the Friday evening and on the Saturday evening, and they're both great topics with great guests. So I look forward to it. I look forward to hanging out for the weekend with you guys, and I look forward to listening to this show on Friday when it comes out in the podcast. Well, tomorrow. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and hopefully before then I at least get a little bit caught up with the movies. All right? Talk to you soon. Bye.
Nice.
All right, looking forward to seeing Josh in a couple weeks, and glad to hear he's going to be doing some panels. That's awesome, and looking forward to hanging out with that dude.
Been too long.
Yes, indeed. All right, we have Evil Corny. Let's hear from our boy Evil Corny.
Hey guys, this is Evil Corny. I enjoyed The Dead Don't Die. I had fun watching it. I don't think it's the best zombie film ever, but it was, to me, a fun film. Hermit Bob tripped me out. Tom Waits with his gun, the rifle he had, looked like a bunch of logs put together with a barrel and a sight on it. I was tripping out on that. Iggy Pop walking around. I guess he got buried with a leather vest on, because that's how he was moving around in the movie. And also, Steve Buscemi's racist farmer was named Frank Miller. And I got a kick out of that when I went back the second time and watched it. You all have a good one. Evil Corny out. What up, Aries?
Aries got the shout out this week.
Okay, yes. That's not the first time he's done that.
Aries
Hi, show some hot.
Pretend like you've been there, Aries.
Yeah. I'm pretending like I've been there.
I know.
I don't get a stiffy because someone says my name. No, well.
Raven Shadow.
I got a bone. You guys got to go.
You gotta go. All right, we got one more voicemail. This is, we haven't heard from him in a bit. Looking forward to hearing from him. This is from Pabst.
Hey guys, Paps. Just calling in. It's been a while. I hope you guys are all doing great. I gotta say, with the new mics all set up and everything, the new show sounds great. And I really love the whole new beginning segment where you just let MZ ramble for a fucking hour and a half. It's a nice change of pace. Yeah, I like it. So I watched the movie that you guys watched this week, The Dead Don't Die, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It is not the greatest movie ever, but it was still a fun ride while I was watching it. Like, I love that the RZA drives for WPS. I thought that was a great touch. The cast for this movie was just fucking ridiculous. I almost feel like the movie couldn't quite live up to the cast that it had. But I mean, regardless of that, like I said, still an enjoyable film. Like Tilda Swinton was so fucking good, as she always is, in everything she's in. I liked that the drag queen makeup that she did on the cadavers when she was at the mortuary. And there was little touches in the movie that I thought were really great. Like I liked that, rather than being super gory and all like blood and guts and stuff, I liked that the zombies were just like filled with dust or whatever. I thought it was a nice little nod that Adam Driver had the Star Destroyer keychain. Spoiler free. Like, no, I'm not going to say anything about it, but Tilda Swinton's last scene totally came out of left field. But like looking back, I was like, oh, no, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like I said, not the greatest movie that was ever made, but still fun, and I'm sure the cast had a blast making it. So also, I literally just finished watching the first episode, of the Creepshow series on Shudder,
nice, yeah.
and I gotta say, I very much enjoyed it. I was entertained, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series. I'm pissed that I can't just binge through it like I'm used to doing with all the shows, but it'll be a fun thing to look forward to. All right. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm looking forward to listening, and peace.
All right, Paps. Thanks, man. Always good to hear from you. Good to hear your thoughts on films. Glad you dug the movie. And Creepshow, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Have any of you guys watched it yet?
No, I haven't had time. I'll check it out this week.
Too busy watching Tubi.
You can't binge these.
I gotta know what have you been busy with?
Yeah, really nothing. Just
yeah, exactly.
I've been rather busy.
Yeah, jerking the gherkin,
really nothing. I'm actually not busy. I'm just saying I'm busy.
Yeah, by busy I mean I was home.
Going to Walmart.
Yeah, went to Walmart.
Taking selfies in Walmart.
Yeah, keep it up.
You do what you do.
Oh shit! So
I gave you the perfect opportunity to say I was painting the house. Something. No, just
you could lie. Yeah.
Yeah,
lie. My landlord would get mad if I painted the house.
I doubt it. I'm sure he'd be thrilled if you painted the house.
Kill my landlord.
Granted, it would probably depend on the color, but
MZ, I know you're a landlord, and I don't think he'd even notice.
You did what?
So that is it for voicemail. So big thanks to everyone who called in, and it's great to hear from some folks we haven't heard from in a bit. I know Pabst and First Time Mike have both been busy. They've been really busy, unlike MZ. But it's always great to hear from you guys, so thank you. And always great to hear from Evil Corny and from Arkham Josh, and obviously Jethro Nomicon as well. So thank you. And if you guys out there are listening, you want to get your voice on the air, you want to leave us a voice message about the film we're reviewing on the current episode or any previous ones. Like if you guys go back and watch, I don't know, Under the Silver Lake or Gwen or any of the other movies we've done recently or even the last year or so, just feel free to send in a message and a short little review. We love hearing from you guys. So podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And I'm looking forward to checking out Creepshow. And actually, this could be a long conversation. I do want to wrap things up, but we'll try to make this quick. Do you guys prefer to binge your I want to say binge versus purge, but I know that's not right. But
yes.
Do you guys prefer to binge, or do you prefer to kind of like watch an episode every week? How do you prefer to digest your shows?
He's talking about shows, not movies.
Yeah, Raven Shadow, you turn your movies into shows.
I do, yeah. Old fashioned, yeah. I went like serial format. I watch 15-minute increments. Yeah. Tune in next week.
So, I know MZ likes to fucking binge because he'll watch 10 episodes in a day.
That's right.
Is that how you prefer, or do you like the weekly thing?
I prefer it that way.
To binge?
Because it's just. I'll make this really quick. It's just like watching TV. You know, when you got a block of sitcoms going on. I love the reruns more than I like the actual,
new shows.
Than the actual shows when they get their original air dates. Because I can't just have one. I got to have 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's just the way I am. So yeah, I prefer binging.
See, I prefer the single serve way of doing it.
Yeah,
it's just I feel that you need to digest what you just watched. No matter how much you want to.
MZ's a glutton, so.
Yeah. No matter how much you want to dive into the next episode, it is part of the experience to digest it over a day or a week or whatever, and take it in, and have that yearning to experience it again. Now, as far as binging old sitcoms, that's a different story. If it's something I've seen before, I'll put the TV on and have Golden Girls playing in the background for 2 or 3 hours while I'm doing something, or any other sitcom or show that's going on. If I'm just mindlessly doing something, I will put on something that I've already seen and binge that in a respect. And now it's not. I don't sit there and watch it the entire time. If I'm folding laundry or doing a little work or something, I'll put something on in the background that is a binge.
All right, fair. How about you, Raven Shadow? I think I know your answer, but go ahead.
But no. I mean, once again, I can't do fucking 13 hours in a row to watch the fucking complete season 3 of fucking Daredevil. That's a lot of fucking time. You get fucking bed sores. It's rough. Start chafing. But no, I'm kind of more on the Aries camp. It's cool. If you're watching it with, once again, I do actually prefer. Unlike drinking, I like watching TV with somebody. I don't like watching TV alone.
Well, yeah, I know. 2 tree dudes. You like to watch movies together.
Yeah, can talk about it, play an event, get some pizza or something.
Who's this tree dude?
Well, I don't know, he's coming. You being out.
But but when we watch movies together, you finish them, Raven Shadow.
I always finish more together, Jimmy.
You gotta make it weird, huh?
But that's you understand. Don't you making it fucking weird. We used to eat and get fucking takeout, and it was excellent. But no. But no, I'm more to be serious for a moment. I'm more with Aries where, watch an episode or 2. Any more than that, then it's a little bit low. But you want to kind of digest, whether it's even maybe every other day, watch something. But slow it down, enjoy it, chew your food.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with the Aries wording and single serve. I prefer, because also I think it benefits the company, whoever's putting it out. So obviously coming soon is going to be the Mandalorian TV show, the Star Wars show, and they decided to do it weekly because the big thing about that is you keep awareness up. You keep it on people's in conversations for much longer. I just think it's interesting. Imagine if you could binge Game of Thrones. They would never have had all these online conversations, or it just wouldn't be the phenomenon that it was, because
and that's
it's the whole water cooler mentality, I guess, whether or not people actually use a water cooler these days or not, but you get the point.
Well, yes, that whole debate about what's going to happen next, with that whole everything gets released and everyone can watch it. You don't get that debate because people are at different levels of the show. Right. You have someone who's finished it and someone who's only on episode 2. They can't really talk about the show.
Yeah, and that happened. Sorry, Rich. I was just going to say, and that happened to me recently. I hadn't finished the Dark Crystal series, and one of my coworkers did. And he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Did you see this?" I'm like, "No, don't say anything," because I'm like, "Dude, you watched the whole thing. Like, I'm only like 5 or 6 into it. I don't want you to say something that might be a spoiler, like, because people get so excited they want to talk about it with someone else. But if someone binges it and then the other person wants to watch it in a slower pace, then could." And I've seen stuff spoiled. Like I saw like a Stranger Things season 3 thing spoiled because I watched it in 3 days instead of 1, like some people. Like it's just
amateur.
So I prefer the weekly single serve method, and I think that actually I also heard that Netflix is actually going to be doing that with some of their shows to kind of try it out and see if that's how they're going to go about doing it moving forward. But they've created this sort of culture of binging that I don't know if they can get away from it. So, but there you have it. I mean, I guess if anyone out there wants to give their thoughts on it, feel free to send them our way. I think this is an interesting conversation and one that we could probably have again. So,
I agree. I'm pretty confident too. By the time I get around to Mandalorian, they'll be on season 2, so I'll be able to.
Exactly.
I won't have an issue.
Yeah, you'll be able to binge it if you want.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
All right, well, that is going to do it for the episode. Next week, like I said, we're going to be talking about Bliss from Joe Bigas. If you want to go ahead, check it out on VOD. Let's go around the room and say our goodbyes. MZ.
Here, Revenant douchebags.
Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
I just want to say happy birthday, Marion. It's not midnight yet, so it still counts. And until next week, live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
God, I hope that's a happy birthday to her, though. No! Okay.
Happy birthday to you, Marion.
Happy birthday to you, baby. Birthday. No, I said it last night. I said it this morning. I said it this afternoon. Yeah. Just saying it on air. It's
making sure, just looking out for me. I didn't know if you like
thank you. Yeah, well, I mean,
about dodging a brick.
I come to the other corner of the window.
Move to the left.
All right, well, that is going to do it for episode 374 of Trick or Treat Radio. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Big thanks to everyone who contributed some feedback, and also everyone checking it out live. We had a bunch of people tuning in on Facebook and also on the website, so we appreciate you guys tuning in and checking it out. And also for everyone who's going to listen to the podcast on Fridays. We appreciate it. And once again, if you guys haven't, go ahead and give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or any of the podcatchers you listen to us on. And we'll see you next week.